Well, greetings and salutations, everybody. Welcome to the best damn movie news channel on planet Earth, the John Campea Show, coming to you live from John Campea's YouTube channel. Once again, sans John Campea. John is over at VidCon today. He's actually one of their featured speakers. And, well, we didn't get invited. We had to put on a ding-dang show. So you got the Batman Beyond team here live at 11, as we always are, because we don't have access to John's emails, and we got to start this show from scratch each time we do this. But remember, the spirit of the show totally remains the same. We are going to talk to you guys about awesome stuff, movies, movie news, comics, whatever really Rob and I feel like talking about today.
Yes.
Yeah. And so let's introduce my wonderful co-host over here, Mr. Robert Meyer Burnett. How you doing, Rob?
Yeah, you know, I have to tell you, it's been a week since I've appointed myself the supreme gatekeeper of all fandom.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I've decided it's too aggravating.
It is?
Yeah, it really is. And I'm relinquishing my title as gatekeeper. I want people to know that. It's just, there's too much emotional turmoil that happens, and
Yeah.
I just, you know, I don't have enough of a therapist's degree. I mean, I know a lot about how people think and feel, but I am not qualified. I'll just flat out say
Oh,
it.
man. Truly today, Atlas has shrugged.
Rob.
You know, and I read that book, and I am the fountainhead of fandom. The fountainhead of fandom. I
There
will
we
take
go.
that
Ooh,
title.
We're going to add that to your list
I
of
am
many
the fountainhead of fandom, but I'm no longer a gatekeeper.
Why?
Right.
Why? Because I'll tell you why. It's too aggravating.
Yeah,
you know, people, here's the thing. It's kind of like the beginning of Gladiator when Quintus says people should know when they're conquered. And Maximus says, would you, Quintus? Would I? People don't know. That's why. You can't gatekeep people that don't know they're conquered.
Gatekeeper, baby.
Gatekeeper.
There you
Hashtag
go.
gatekeeper.
I'm the fountainhead of fandom.
And that will go wrong too.
People are like,
People don't
fountainhead of
get jokes.
fandom. There you go.
There you go.
I just mentioned a book. Watch people freak out.
Ooh.
You telling me to read books?
Yeah.
Yes.
We're
I am.
always telling you to read books. Well, a man of the people we've got over here is Mr. Ray Ora. Ray, how you doing?
Hey, I don't know. I don't have any farms. Don't worry. I'm just here. I don't know. I don't know if people will get that, but
Straight from the headlines, Ray Ora. And making sure everything goes smoothly, or as smoothly as it can. Producer Jonathan, how you doing?
I'm just trying to catch all the children. I'm trying to wrangle them all up.
Yeah.
I don't know what to
The
do.
children.
It is a herding cats kind of day. I understand that.
oh yeah,
It really is.
Well, the first topic is everyone
really
knows
is that.
why it's there.
Yeah.
It's to stick it to some people, right?
Exactly. And we'll get into all these topics. Usually how the show works, folks, is you write into us. But as I said, John will not give me his Gmail password. He doesn't want me to see what he's subscribed to. So when we do the shows, the Batman Beyond team, we just pull things straight from the headlines. We're basically
Or our
Law and
asses.
Order, or our asses. And then mostly we engage with you guys. So today we will be opening up the super chats a little earlier than usual so we can really engage with you as a community. A little bit of an AMA with all of us over here.
Could be.
Also, what fuel are we running on today?
What fuel
it's
are
not
we running on?
It's not aviation.
We ran out of that.
We need more aviation, Mr. Reynolds.
Yeah, we're all out of aviation.
Dear Ryan,
Gin.
please support us.
I think we
and our
got that
problems and
Jameson.
have-
Yeah, I did bring a little Dr. J in, though.
Yeah, we
was
got
gonna
some
say.
Dr. J.
And I don't mean Julius Irving.
Everyone brought a brown bottle today.
Yes, we did.
But a bunch of givers over here. Now, if you are stuck at work and you don't get to have as much fun as us, maybe you don't get to watch YouTube, you can always listen to us all sneaky like in podcast form. All you have to do is head over to wherever you get your podcasts, and you can go check out the John Campea Show right there. Give us a little sub, give us a little, 4 or 5 stars. That'd be super nice of you. And also, if you want to listen to our companion videos, Mailbag, that is also in podcast form. John does those, Rob does those, and I started doing those too, and they're super, super fun, answering all your questions.
And I have to tell you, this is the best sounding show on YouTube. So when you hear it in podcast form, it really sounds terrific.
Ooh, it's because you got that ASMR voice.
Oh, really?
Soothing all the people
Is that
on
what it
YouTube.
is?
It's so nice.
Welcome to the John Campea Show.
All right, guys. Well, with all that housekeeping out of the way, let's get into our topics for today. And our first topic is this. Because the John is away, the cats are going to play. We're going to talk about a cat video game and stick it to John. Justice for Aaron, our cat lover.
Yeah.
There is a brand new game coming out called Stray, an adventure game to be published by Annapurna Interactive for PlayStation and PC this July, where you get to play as a little kitty cat.
And I think that this headline is a Chris Carr headline,
This is,
if there ever was one.
it's like God himself was like, Casey, are you aware of this? Oh, it's beautiful.
And I want to point out to the viewers that I don't have a PlayStation. Jonathan, do you have a PlayStation?
I do.
Well, and you
I have a
PlayStation
PS4.
Okay, I guess it comes out for that. But John has a PlayStation 5. So
With a disc player.
there's only one place I could play this game.
Actually, you could come to the observatory and play it
No,
there.
but it'd just be better if I played this game
You absolutely have to
in
download
front
this.
of John.
Yeah,
at
could
his
you make a
home.
video showing yourself downloading a
Yeah.
cat game and sitting on his
I
couch
will.
playing a cat game?
You know what's interesting about this game is that the whole thing looks cool. I mean, if they can make a dog game, but dogs aren't. You rarely see dogs going out doing their thing like cats do. That's what they're, owners let them go out and go around the neighborhood or whatever.
Some do.
Some do. This one is described as, you play a stray cat, and you must untangle
And you strut.
an ancient mystery in order to find your way home. Now, this cat, I guess, has a drone attached to it, so that's how you translate all the robots that you talk to, because the city is filled with just robots and androids, from what I'm reading, and it looks cool. The setting looks great. The cat movements look great. I mean, I'm really excited for this. It comes out July 19th. I don't know if anyone else has been looking into this game, but it's my type of game already. Just because of the little adventure where there's no chance really of you running into any zombies or getting killed. That's my type of game. I like winning games. It's just how you win. It looks like how you win is going to be the big thing about this game. And I hope you don't die in this game. I don't think you do.
Well, if you do, you'll have 9 lives. So
Oh,
that's
yeah.
fine. Yeah.
You know what's interesting about this game is it's produced by Annapurna Games, which is Megan Ellison's. Annapurna is Megan Ellison, the daughter of Larry Ellison, founder of Oracle. It's her film company, Annapurna, and they've done some amazing.
12 minutes.
Well, they've done.
Oh, go ahead, Russ.
Oh, they've done some amazing films, and they've branched out into games. And if you look at Annapurna's record in the game space, they've done some really excellent video games. And this looks to be another winner for them. And I know, Megan Ellison does not get the credit I think she deserves, because if you look at box office, sometimes Annapurna's movies haven't made as much money as, say, something like Everything Everywhere All at Once that A24 has done. But Megan Ellison has allowed some amazing films to get made. Annapurna is a great company, and I love the fact that they're diversifying into games and that their gaming looks to be, I think they've done, I want to say 3 other games I know of that are incredible. And
Did any of you guys play their last one? I think it was their last one, called 12 Minutes. It had Daisy Ridley and William Dafoe as the voice actors.
oh, I didn't know that.
I actually beat it, but I needed a little help because it was a little confusing. It's
From your friends?
Oh,
Yeah, the game replays the day.
Is that the one where you have to like get out of your office without being like?
No. There's like some crime that's going on,
Yeah,
and you
you're
relive
trying-
the day over and over until you get
fine.
everything right.
And you get everything right and you escape, because I think they have
That's
like
cool.
someone coming in to like get you or whatever, like a burglar or whatever.
Yeah, they make my type of games. Those types of games where there's murder, mystery, things
Yeah.
like that involved. This one looks good too.
Well, and that's
Yeah.
what it says it's going to be, too, is very puzzle-based with a whole lot of cat behavioral tropes in there where you're not just playing a cat. The intention is for you to be a cat, to be one with your inner feline.
It sounds to me, one of my favorite video games of all time is Ico.
Oh, that game is awesome.
I'm a huge, when I first played that game, I think it was PlayStation 2. And then they did do an upgrade. It was Shadow of Colossus and
Shadow
Ico.
of Colossus,
It
there
came
you
out
go.
on a single. Both of those games. Ico was first, and Shadow of Colossus was second. But I mean, talk about a Zen game. Like Ico is like therapy. If you had a really bad day, you could just play Ico, and the ghosts would come, and you could rescue the princess, or just look around the room, look around the castle.
And tell me, Rob, how great would it be? I think we've had some things that remind us of it, but a Shadow of Colossus movie with those monsters that just came up from the ground. They had like grass on them, and you would have to scale them to kill them. I don't think I've played anything that's like that even till this day.
Well, it's interesting. Both Ico and Shadow of Colossus had kind of an existential component to them. It made you ponder the universe you live in. Mm-hmm. Like, who built this giant castle for Ico? You're like, it's huge. I mean, how did they build it that time? Like, where did they have construction equipment come in? No, because we didn't have construction equipment then.
Okay.
To this day, I'm pondering Ico and what it all means. and Shadow of Colossus.
I'm going to ask for your guys' opinions.
Okay.
Let's say this Stray game comes out, and it's like the AAA game of the year, like highest rated, nominated. Do you think John will pick up the controller and play a cat? Because we know his feelings about cats. We heard it yesterday. We've heard it before. If everyone starts talking about this game, like they did It Takes Two, because when It Takes Two won Video Game of the Year, he was down to play that right away.
He loves socks, right? From
Yeah.
So
Look, you know as well as I do, the only way John's going to play this game is if your sister tells him to.
Yep.
I completely missed that point. So, Anne, hopefully, if you're watching right now, or if you watch this later on,
We know who wears the pants in the Campea
yeah,
family.
we have a mission. We have a mission.
I don't
By
know,
the way,
I
she's
think-
going to get that Miles Morales hot toy.
I think Anne could make him do it, but also, I think this is a hill John would love to die on. Of nope, never going to play a cat. Not going to inhibit one. That's
his
just my
loss.
stance on it.
Yeah. It looks great.
I think this is cute. But guys, the question is up for you. What do you think of the game Stray? Does this seem like the cat's pajamas, or is this straight into the litter box for you?
pajamas.
Let us know your thoughts in the comments down
That's why
below.
I love you, man. Come on. That was
Thank you.
that was some improv.
so
that was
much.
great stuff right there.
Doing my best over here.
Wow.
Okay, that's our show today. Bye-bye.
And we're good. Bye. Thank you. All right. Well, let's move on to our second topic then, you guys. And this is about the Academy adding new governors to their ranks, right? What does that mean? Well, we have new folks in there voting for Academy Awards. So we have some new folks in there helping make those decisions. We've added Marley Matlin, Jason Reitman, and Jason Blum, which I think is very, very interesting. What's really, really cool about this is right now the Academy sits for the first time having about 54% of its members be women. And this is unprecedented.
It
which
is.
very, very cool. Having Marley Matlin in there also means that we're going to have a really great focus on inclusivity and properly showcasing diversity in our actors and everything too, which I really, really appreciate, especially from her work on Coda, right? Making sure those were deaf actors.
Well, all the way back into the 80s with William Hurt and Children of a Lesser God.
Absolutely. And she's so good in Children of a
So
Lesser
good.
God. Oh my gosh. But the one I want to talk to you about here though, Rob, because I got really excited. Don't be scared. I was like, oh, this
should I
seems,
be scared?
This seems like right up Rob's alley. Jason Blum being a member of the Academy. I think this could open up a lot of potential for genre films to finally get their day in the sun. Because,
Especially, no, horror films too. Jason Blum is a guy, I don't know him. I've only produced one horror movie, but Jason Blum has single-handedly brought back the theatrical viability of the low-budget horror movie. And his model of making movies for $5 million or under, and then if the movies turn out well, like M. Night Shyamalan came back and made The Visit, he was in director jail, comes back and reinvents his career. I mean, I don't think that Jason Blum, people who've worked with him, I've heard the gamut of opinions about Jason Blum, but for me, as someone who doesn't know him from the outside, I just look and say he has made low-budget horror genre filmmaking viable. Again, in the theatrical marketplace.
Oh, absolutely.
And you look at like Lee Wanell's Invisible Man. You on one hand, you look at Kurtzman trying to direct The Mummy with Tom Cruise and bring back the Dark Universe and bring back the Universal Monsters. Lee Wanell, of course, one of the co-creators of the Saw franchise, comes back and writes and directs Invisible Man for $8 million. $8 million. Universal releases it. It's a Blumhouse film, $100 million gross.
Wildly successful, bone chilling.
Yeah, so bone chilling. Really, and of course he had made Upgrade previous to that. And Jason Blum and Blumhouse has done a great job. And even if they're making films, they're putting stuff on TV, and they're giving emerging filmmakers a chance.
Yeah.
They're sort of leveling a playing field. I grew up going to things like Avco Embassy Pictures, like they would release John Carpenter movies like The Fog or Escape from New York, and Escape from New York was a $4.5 million film that was again released theatrically. Terminator, $4.5 million, but that was not that was I think Orion, but or Hemdale. It was Hemdale. We don't have that anymore.
Yeah.
And Jason Blum has single-handedly sort of brought that back. So it's great to see him as part of the Board of Governors. He is, Kevin, to me, the most successful producers working in Hollywood today are Jason Blum and Kevin Feige on different levels. But in terms of their track records, Jason Blum has an incredible, the guy's made an Exorcist trilogy.
Yeah.
What is that going to look like? I don't know. He, like you said in our other story 2 days ago, I got Ellen Burstyn back and she's 87 years old. So good on you, Jason Blum. Congratulations on being part of the, what is it, Board of Governors, the Academy Board?
Yeah, the Academy Board of Governors. Well, I'm really glad you brought up Feige too, because I do want to touch on this as well, because we've seen comic book movies get their moment in the sun a little bit, right? With Black Panther. So I'm wondering too, why? And Joker. That's very, very true. And Dark Knight. Why, when it comes to these kinds of awards, why are we still a bit, snobby, frankly, when it comes to genre films? Whenever I get my screeners, the joke is always that it's a series of hard to watch. I have to watch a lot of hard to watch films of very dire circumstances. And there's absolutely merit and artists and craftsmanship and all those things, right? But every now and then, too, we have fantastic comedies that are very, very well done that I think should be up for Best Picture. We have excellent sci-fi, comic films, fantasy, horror. You know, why is it that for so long we've gone, but that's not a prestigious film, you think?
Well, you know, genre literature has always been traditionally not as, look, I think the great stories, at least the way we perceive them, are about human truths. And when you're watching stories, whether you're watching a story like Amadeus, for instance, about creativity, and Salieri's jealousy about Mozart, and of course Peter Shaffer wrote this great play. It comes from the pedigree there. It's like, this is an important film, even though it's wildly entertaining and Milos Forman did a great job. It's still about Mozart, you know, so it has importance. And I think that, I even believe this. I think that, like Lawrence of Arabia, you know, a historical figure, deals with mankind and warfare and
I love your prestige voice, by
populations.
the way.
There you go. Well, and then of course you've got other kinds of movies that deal with these prestige issues, even though so does genre cinema,
yes,
just wrapped up in a horror, sci-fi, or fantasy bow.
It's typically an allegory for you to be able to kind of swallow that pill of what societal issue the film's trying to address. I
mean, as much as I love Woody Allen and love Annie Hall, in 1977 or in 1978, when the 77 Academy Awards were airing, I was a 10-year-old boy. I was about to turn 11, still watching the Academy Awards. I loved them when I was a kid. Still,
a little young for Annie Hall.
Yeah, I'm like, I didn't even know what Annie Hall was. No one took me to see Annie Hall. Star Wars. Star Wars did not win the Academy Award in 1977, even though it changed the world. And why? Because it was a fairy tale. Mm-hmm. It wasn't important, whereas Annie Hall was about, you know, New Yorkers and intellectuals and Marshall McLuhan. You don't understand my work at all. I love Annie Hall. And I still, to this day, Star Wars was more meaningful in terms of the best picture of the year. I mean, I'm arguing over Kenobi on Twitter 45 years later. Yeah. No one is asking about the return of Annie Hall. People don't even know who Diane Keaton is. No, I'm not.
Which is a shame.
It really is. It's truly. And she's like single.
What?
I know.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, come on. Mrs. Corleone is single. But that's what I think the problem is that there has been a bias against, and there always has been. Genre literature has always had a bias against it. And whether it's science fiction, fantasy, or horror, we saw Silence of the Lambs. Silence of the Lambs, as much as I like it, is not a better movie than The Exorcist. That was also nominated for Best Picture. No one was going to, in 1974, no one was going to give The Exorcist Best Picture.
No, just a bunch of scared Catholics because we think it's real.
The thing about The Exorcist is if you look at that film, it's still my favorite horror film of all time. But that is a movie that is about faith. It's about a priest that has lost his faith in God, and in confronting the devil, finds his faith again and saves the life of an innocent. That's a Best Picture topic. Mm-hmm. But because it's wrapped up in profanity and the corruption of a 12-year-old girl and lots of green pea soup,
yep,
and crucifixes,
thingies on stairs.
Yeah, it's not. That's the director's cut.
Oh,
yeah.
Are you surprised that I've seen that then?
I am, because it's the scariest movie ever made.
It's one of the reasons why horror messed me up so much, because as a kid I saw that and very much believed that this was all real. I
mean, I would like to see genre movies reassessed. Mm-hmm. But we're getting there. I mean, Return of the King swept the Oscars.
Absolutely.
And hopefully we'll see. People are like, what are they even talking about right now? I love genre cinema.
Yeah, I'm hoping that these kind of zeitgeist films, because that's what they really are, movies that really just kind of permeate through culture, become more prestigious with some fresh folks in the Academy making these assessments.
Yeah, I mean, if you go back and you look, E.T., There's a E.T. If you look at that film, people are like, oh, Elliot. But it's really about a boy who he's fatherless. You know, his mother has been left by the father, and that film, look at how much that resonates. By the way, it turned 40. E.T. turned 40 last week.
What?
Yeah, or 2 weeks ago.
Gosh.
40. And it still resonates 40 years later. You can watch that movie today. Should that have won Best Picture? I mean, Gandhi was pretty damn good, but E.T.?
But will Gandhi be right here? I don't know.
You'll always be right here.
Well, folks, the question is up for you. What do you make out of having these new governors added to the academy? Do you think this is going to shake things up, or is it going to be business as usual? Let us know your thoughts in the comments down below. Now, before we move on to our next topic, y'all, we are going to take a break to hear from the great folks over at Helix.
Guys, we want to take a second and thank the sponsor of this video, Helix Sleep. Guys, let me tell you, just a couple of days ago, Ann and I received our Helix mattress, and it is the best mattress we have ever slept on in our entire lives. We had like this $3,000 specialized mattress that we got like 5-6 years ago, and we liked it very much, but this one completely outdoes it. It's night and day. And you can get matched with your perfect mattress too. See, Helix Sleep has a quiz that takes just like a minute to complete, and it matches your body type and sleep preferences to the perfect mattress for you. Why would you buy a mattress made for somebody else? With Helix, you're getting a mattress that you know will be perfect for the way that you sleep. I hopped online, took the Helix quiz, and Anna and I were matched with the perfect mattress for us. And it is so easy to set up. Simply take it out of the box, get it positioned on your mattress, take off the plastic, and then give it an hour or two to breathe to reach its full size, and you will not believe how comfortable this thing is. All you got to do is go to helixsleep.com/Campea. Take their 60-second sleep quiz, and they'll match you to a customized mattress that will give you the best sleep of your life. And it's risk-free. They have a 10-year warranty, and you get to try it out for 100 nights. They'll even pick it up for you if you don't love it, but you will. Helix even has financing options and flexible payment plans, so a great night's sleep is never far away. And here's the best part. Helix is offering up to $200 off of all mattress orders and 2 free pillows for our listeners at helixsleep.com/Campea.
And thank you once again to the folks over at Helix. Remember, guys, if you need to use those coupon codes, it doesn't just help out you, it helps out us. So we really appreciate that. Now, let's get on to our next topic. And that is, we finally had the folks at Netflix go over to Cannes Film Festival and confirm, yes, they are doing an ad tier. What's real interesting here, though, is not only do we have this confirmation of the ads, it comes right on the heels of them laying off another 300 folks. Netflix does not seem to be in a great position right now. Despite according to the Hollywood Reporter, their CEO, I believe, is Philanthropist of the Year.
Wow.
There's a lot of things going
Ted
on.
Sarandos? Is that who? I don't know which.
Someone else. I'll have to double check that one. But what we have here is that we are getting an ad-supported tier. Now, this is not saying that ads are going to run rampant through Netflix. There is now going to be an option that you can opt into for those folks who have said, hey, Netflix is too expensive for me, but I really wouldn't mind an ad. There's going to be a new tier added to try to get more subscribers in there who are willing to watch ads during their shows. So, two-pronged thing here, Rob. How are you feeling about those ads? Because I know you're not usually a big fan of them.
No.
And how are you feeling about the layoffs mixed in with this news too?
Well, first of all, you know, I've actually shot inside the Netflix building in Hollywood.
Ooh.
And that building is like Shangri-La. You know, every floor has a beautiful kitchenette with all kinds of treats, and in it, or maybe the place I was, but it's amazing. I mean, and here's the thing about Netflix. I'm a fan. I'll flat out say I am a fan of Netflix. I think their diverse programming, meaning I can watch documentaries, I can watch foreign films, I watched a show, a trailer for a show this morning called The Long Night, which is a new series about a Hannibal Lecter character being put in a jail and all hell breaks loose, whatever that's about. I don't even know. But I'm like, they have done more to bring international cinema, international television. Their RRR is on Netflix right now, which you have to see. If you guys haven't seen RRR, why? You should watch it. I think Netflix is incredible. And the fact that their stock price just cratered is odd to me. It's not like their business model suddenly changed. There was no crazy scandal at the top or whatever. And now, if you look into the rest of the entertainment business, there's a lot of people that don't have any money to spend on ads. So, well, we're going to go to an ad-based tier to make money. I can understand why they're doing that. But what's interesting to me is that part of Netflix's appeal is there are no ads. And I get why they're going to go back to ads and try and raise money, but it's like what's going on with YouTube. If you don't place your own ads on YouTube shows, there's like an ad now every 5 seconds.
Oh, yeah.
It's become unbearable to watch certain YouTube channels. And please, creators, place your own ads like every 15 minutes. I mean, because I click off channels now because of I try to watch something, literally 10 seconds go by and there's another ad. You can't watch. But I guess they have to do it. Yeah. I mean, because their stock price has dropped so precipitously. I get it. I understand where they're coming from. So they have to do it. But their business model hasn't really changed. And the programming, we make fun of their movies, but if you look at the wildly, like I said, diverse programming, Netflix is a great platform. And I have discovered their foreign offerings alone make it very much worth my while. But yes, Ray?
Yeah, Ray.
We've known they've been losing money for a little while. We've reported a couple things. Do you think they've made any panic announcements, like, because of it? Like, I actually, when I first read about the Squid Game reality show, I actually thought that was a panic announcement because they're trying to get something going where they could make some money, but they're actually giving away a lot of money on that show. So I don't know.
I mean, if you look at, and we're about to talk about something that's on Netflix, but look at Stranger Things. Look at the influence worldwide. Kate Bush released The Hounds of Love in 1985 that had Running Up That Hill on it. In 1985, 37 years ago, because of one Netflix show, Kate Bush is charting all over the world. She's making tons of money. 37 years later, you cannot deny that Netflix is a global brand name and is providing entertainment that people are watching. How many companies are providing this kind of entertainment globally and become, I mean, Stranger Things 4, their 4th season, became a zeitgeist show that people love. So it's not like they're a company going, they don't deserve success. Of course they do. And the problem is their business model, all they do is you have subscription, but that's all they do. They don't have, I can't, unless I buy bootleg Netflix shows, which I might have done. I'm on that tuna train. I have physical media. Why doesn't Netflix sell their shows? Because their business model is subscription only. Now they're going to sell ads because they have to, which to me dilutes their brand a bit.
I remember not too long ago, I think Anne was supposed to be, she was being interviewed for a position there. So luckily
all the big companies
she didn't take it because that.
I mean, but they have to. I mean, when your stock price drops, from a high of $700 down into like $175 a share, that's bad news.
When I will say Netflix too was handling the layoffs in the way that companies should, laying off people at the executive level first, those very, very large salaries and everything. So they seem to be trying to handle this the best they can. Jonathan, you're very stock savvy. What do you think all this is going to mean for their stocks at this point?
I actually think the drop that you're seeing is a reaction to tech stocks in general.
Okay.
Yep.
Like, I'm not trying to put on my professor's glasses right now, but if you look across the board, tech growth stocks are just hit hard because of the economy. And let's face it, we are heading towards a recession. I don't know if this is the first time you've heard this, but we are. And the first thing people are going to sell, panic sell, or, and especially the big boys, the institutional buyers and sellers of stocks, they're selling off tech stocks. They're all crowding into the safe havens right now. So any little disruption, I mean, you could get bad news out of Ukraine and things like Netflix are going to sell because people are going to go buy gold or something like that. You know what I mean? So they need those funds out of a risky growth stock. They're going to move it somewhere else. So that's a huge part of it. And they did not put up good numbers. And because of that, the market is not being forgiving. So if you're putting up bad numbers, you're seeing it across the board. It's like, oh, we're not going to, forget it. We were talking though, Rob, a few days ago, maybe last week, and we were talking about how they don't do physical media. And I said, there is a possibility, a small window, that now that they're adding ad tier bases and they have new streams of income because of the ads, they may be open to selling physical media of like their like Stranger Things in 4K or whatever.
I
just
mean,
like
they've done
HBO
that, but
does.
they've sold Stranger Things before in
Yeah.
like premium packaging, like retro VHS packaging. The question is, and look, as a proponent of physical media, I'm aware that it's dying.
Yeah.
But you know what? There are Netflix shows like what we're going to talk about soon that I would buy. You know, and I think that Netflix should look into that. And certainly some of their movies, like I would love to get Red Notice. I didn't love, but I would buy it if it was in 4K and Dolby Atmos and HDR and all that, or
Special
Dolby
features.
Vision. I would do it. I'd buy. There's a lot of stuff on Netflix. Money Heist. I might buy a complete series
Oh,
of
that'd be fun.
Money Heist or something. Or I would totally buy a Squid Game box set with special features
Or
on
even a compilation of all the documentaries that are kind of like connected to each other, or talk
Just a
about
big old
somewhat-
murder steelbook.
Yeah, I mean, I would buy those.
Sex, Death, and Robots. I'd buy that show on physical
Oh,
media.
that would be a cool steelbook to have.
Yeah.
I
But
would
I
like
think
that.
the putting stuff on physical media is their last worry right now. I think they're just trying to stay afloat, right? What they're trying to do, and maybe the ads will help them.
I know I ask this every time we talk about the ads. Has anyone changed on whether or not they would do the ad tier? Are you guys
Never.
Never?
No, I'm paying. Oh,
I mean, I can handle the but if I was in a position where like I needed to cut back and then maybe it was like, but I will do an ad tier for like Hulu or whatever. I'm just not in that position. But I'm also not going to be like insensitive to other people that are in a position financially where, you know, they want to be able to have that entertainment and they need to cut back. So I get it. Like, why not?
Yeah.
The article also brought up an interesting point that, and we think as streamers, because we are into it so much that everyone is, we only make up 10% of what people are doing on
Yeah.
television
Yeah.
worldwide. So there's still 90% possibility of growth for these guys. You know, and it's a relatively young company. It's been around for 20 years. How long
California,
has
too.
HBO been around? Double that, right? Since 80 or was it 70 something? I can't remember.
Yeah, it was early 80s.
I mean, there's different outlets that have been around for decades, and they've gone through their ups and downs. This is a young company, so
You know, I only am paying for one service right now, and that's my rule. So right
Campea
now
Plus?
it's Apple TV Plus, just for all mankind. As soon as that ends, my $4.99 is a free agent for any streaming services that offer a $4.99 plan. That's my rule. The rest goes on Campea Plus, baby.
I love that. Well, folks, if you do not have Campea Plus, how do you feel about ads going on Netflix for sure here? What do you think this means for the company as a whole? And how do you feel about it as a subscriber? Let us know in the comments down below. All right, guys, with that out of the way, we've got a fun trailer to talk about. We had the new season 4 trailer drop for What We Do in Shadows. I freaking love this show.
So
I love
good.
this so much. I will watch Matt Berry do anything. That man could read the phone book, and I'd just be like, yes, how could this not be fun with that wonderful cadence of his? It's so good. You're like American Matt Berry. You've got that kind of big bravado voice.
I do?
Yeah.
By God, do I? Now that I've given up my gatekeeper status?
There we go. That would have been a great gatekeeper voice.
I know,
though.
right?
What a
And it
shame.
was. It
Missed
was.
opportunities.
I know, and people were like, I could have been a cult leader. Could have been great.
You still could be.
Maybe I should, you know. That's I'll have a 401,
Yeah.
not a 401k. What is it called? A nonprofit status?
Yeah, there you
and
go.
start my cult.
You can just sell crystals out in Venice.
Yeah,
That's how you get started.
The new
here.
Bhagwan Sri Rajneesh. That's me. No, but you know, this show, I have to say that you think about great TV shows that have been spawned from movies. I think one of maybe the greatest might have been MASH. You know, MASH, the film, of course, and then of course the long-running TV series with Alan Alda. Incredible. This show has to be in the conversation. I think What We Do in the Shadows, as I've said on the show before, I bought the movie on Blu-ray. I had not seen it. And it was one of those things like Spielberg's Lincoln. I didn't see it in the theater. It sat on the top of the pile and I kept moving it down as I bought other things. And then one day I'm like, okay, it's time to watch What We Do in the Shadows. My God, did I love that movie.
It's so good.
It was so good and so creative. I mean, Taika Waititi, that was the first time I was aware of who he was. This show completely lives up to the promise of the film, expands, extrapolates, goes beyond. It's hilarious.
Oh yeah.
And season 4, I mean, that it's got a season 4, it might do like 10 seasons like MASH did or whatever.
I was going to say, this show definitely has legs, and I love what we're seeing for season 4, too. If you guys haven't checked out the trailer already, it is fantastic. We get Nadja rapping at the very end of it, which is, it's so good.
So good.
I'm so excited for Nandor's quest to find a new wife,
And then his old wife show up.
which, talk about a weird cult there, having 35 of your exes show up. Ooh.
Although, could be a good night.
You know, it depends on how everyone gets along. We'll see. And of course, we also have baby Colin running around too, figuring out what kind of vampire he wants to be. A musical theater loving vampire.
Oh, yes. I mean, you know, musical theater vampires need more representation in this world. So I'm glad we're going to
1000%.
get it.
Yeah. It's a good time to like musicals, it seems.
You know,
everywhere.
This looked delightful. I can't wait. I love the show and I love the movie, and it's again genre entertainment.
Exactly.
I mean, it's just great comedy wrapped up with a vampire and werewolf bow.
Do you think we're going to see a lot more of these kind of genre shows now too, because of the success of things like this, because of the Taika Waititi like essence that's getting injected into so much media right now?
I think it's hard to do it. Like, not everyone is Taika Waititi, and you
true.
can't, just like everyone's not James Gunn. I mean, well, we'll talk about it soon, but I think the opening credits of Peacemaker have influenced people,
Yes.
and we will talk about that influence shortly. But there is definitely something to be said for that. The problem is, you know, everybody looks at a singular creator who makes something and says, "Oh, we got to find the next this person."
Yeah.
You can't find the next this person. There's only one of them. What you have to do is you have to find other maverick creators who have something to offer that's different than this person, but also unique to them that we haven't seen before.
Yes.
And I think that's what we want. I mean, originality.
I love that. We want a yes and the TV landscape.
You know,
That's an improv thing, people.
It is.
You know, FX comes out with some great shows. It seems
They
like
really do.
they have Atlanta, right? They have
They have
Yep.
Atlanta. They have The Bear
What We Do in the
coming out.
Shadows. They had Legion before, which I really enjoyed.
Yep.
It's weird because no one really talks about FX or mentions FX when there's a show we're talking about. But it's a good network.
You know,
They're
you're
doing-
absolutely right. I
they're
mean, they've
doing their
done some
thing.
great stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I side quest with you, Ray. I'm going to need you to watch The Bear when this premieres because it's about chefs in Chicago, and we're going to have to watch this
Oh,
show
I read something
together.
about that. Is that on FX too?
It's on FX. And it's got
Okay.
Maddie
Let's-
Matheson in it. So I'm
Okay.
so excited.
We can
Real
do that.
chefs on a show about chefs.
It's funny
Pretty
because a show called The Bear reminds me of two guys I know live in West Hollywood.
I was going to say, it makes me think of every time I get to go to P-Town, go to Providence. It's a fun time there. They have a bear festival. Happy Pride Month, everybody. Well, guys, the question, though, is for you. What do you think about the new What We Do in Shadows trailer? Is this a show you're watching? Do you think it has the legs and fangs that Rob and I think it does? Let us know in the comments
legs
down
and
below.
fangs.
I'm on fire today, baby.
Well done.
This coffee is working very,
If
very
you
well.
say recalcitrant sometime today,
Oh
I
my
am
gosh.
just going to.
I'm going to say it like 5 times.
I'm going to be beside myself.
It's going to be amazing. Well, guys, before we get into our next topic, we do want to let you know we're going to open up our super chats early today. Oh, wait, no, I'm a little too ahead of that, aren't I?
No, just open them
No,
up.
we can open up whenever. But before we get to all of that, we are going to talk about the great folks over at Storyblocks. I use them all the time. This is how I cut my demos for people. So check them out.
We want to take a moment and thank the sponsor of today's video, Storyblocks. Guys, I have been an enthusiastic fan and user of Storyblocks for years. I go to them whenever I'm in need of content creation assets like royalty-free music, video clips, or templates for my creative projects, ranging anywhere from little editorial videos to my very own full-feature documentary. Storyblocks helps you bring your stories, videos, and projects to life without sacrifices due to time, budget, or access to resources. They have over 1 million different story assets ranging from stock videos, audio and music, an in-browser video editor, and they feature pre-designed templates, animations, and outros. Storyblocks uses an affordable subscription model, and their unlimited access plans offers, well, unlimited video and audio downloads rather than a costly pay-per-clip model. With Storyblocks, you'll be able to create more content and, more importantly, better content, all while using a subscription plan that fits your budget, utilizing unlimited downloads of demand-driven and diverse content. So if you're interested in upping your content creation game, head over to www.storyblocks.com/Campea and get started today. That's www.storyblocks.com/Campea.
And once again, thank you to Storyblocks. Guys, seriously, check them out because they have so much cool unlicensed music on there. And also, if you're kind of a TV nerd like us, it's real fun to go, that's licensed free music in that commercial. I see you, Swiffer.
Oh,
That brings me joy. I don't know if it'll bring you joy. But something that brought me a lot of joy, I binged the latest season of The Umbrella Academy.
I mean, it dropped yesterday.
I know.
You watched all 10 episodes.
So what I did
Don't
the
you have a
night
life?
before, I barely, Rob, barely. I watched Ms. Marvel, Obi-Wan, and the first episode of Umbrella Academy when they dropped at midnight. So then yesterday when I went home, I taught my lessons, I did a voiceover, I edited a demo, and then I spent the rest of the night watching this show. That's how committed I am to you people. I want to give you the goods, all right? We want to talk about comic books all the time. Any opportunity I get to, I want to. This season is killer. This is so, so fun. Rob, I know you've gotten to check out some of this.
I watched last night I was working myself and I came home. I went from the Robservatory, which is a separate structure, into my house, went to bed, and I watched the first episode. First of all, I have loved Umbrella Academy. To me, talk about Netflix, it's one of the great shows on Netflix. It is first of all, it's a comic adaptation, obviously My Chemical Romance.
Yeah.
Who would have thought?
Well,
I mean, maybe I would have. Jarway.
Everything's a concept album too,
Right.
Which is so fun when you go look at their entire discography. But his work here with Gabriel Ba as the artist too, so incredible, and it's a really off the wall story too from the get go.
Yeah, and the combination of things. I was very incredulous when they decided to make this show. I'm like, come on. Mm-hmm. And I've got two, I call them absolute editions, the slipcased, oversized versions. I think there's only two because they've only finished three.
It's only 3 volumes.
It's only 3 volumes.
Yeah.
And first of all, I love this show. I love the cast. I love the premise. I love they embrace both surrealism and absurdity, but also comic book tropes. They have great representation in this show.
Oh my gosh, excellent. The way that they have handled Elliot's transition has been marvelous. And this is a masterclass in how you do this, right? Actually, Vanya's not who I see myself as. I see myself as Victor. Great. Do you feel loved and supported? Because we're just going to respect you and respect your wishes. Awesome. Cool. Thanks so much, guys.
Done.
Super easy.
Yeah, I mean,
so easy.
But the show, I mean, dealing with crazy sci-fi concepts, time travel, and very Terry Gilliam-esque. There's
well
if
put.
like Loki, the way they designed the show, they took a little bit from the Umbrella Academy.
I think so.
The Time Variance Authority, while it existed in Marvel Comics, the way it was portrayed was very Gilliam-esque and maybe a little Umbrella Academy there. I love this show. They've had 2 epic cliffhangers. Somebody said in the chat that the cliffhanger for season 3 this season wasn't as cliffhangy as seasons 1 and 2, but
Yeah.
But I've only watched 1 episode. I defer to you. It's 10 episodes long.
It is.
I would ask Chris, as a Umbrella Academy fan, without spoiling anything, because if you spoil anything, I'm gonna have to walk over there.
You spoil everything.
And
Every time we do one of these discussions, you throw in a spoiler.
I don't throw in a spoiler.
You absolutely do.
Now he's delusional.
Bring up the receipts. No, I won't spoil it. I won't
He's
spoil
like the Tom Holland of the John Campea.
I am not the Tom Holland of the John Campea show.
Kind of.
You spoil things and you do parkour.
Well, okay. If I'm the spoiler, I'm no longer the gatekeeper. I'm just the spoiler guy.
No.
I'm the fountainhead.
You're the fountainhead.
I'm the fountainhead. Ayn Rand, go read that book, everybody.
You need an
Get back to
asterisk
me.
there. It's an excited accidental spoiler. It's not purposely or
Exactly.
maliciously done. It's just you're so hype about something that you let things out, and that's understandable. It's just
It's true.
people get mad at it.
Well, and it's usually little things too that
And by
because
some
we're on the
people, we mean
internet, we
everyone.
freak out.
It's true. But now let me ask you, having watched the whole season and you watch it all at once,
Yes.
what are your thoughts?
Okay, first of all, Umbrella Academy is a show that I think is worth the binge. I love when I get to sit down and watch these. There is a video on the internet when I worked for someone else where I had to have harder opinions on things, where I wasn't in love with season 1. because of some of the changes they made from the comic books.
Okay.
And then over time, rewatching it and everything and getting to formulate more of my own opinions, I found myself enjoying it more with a few things going, I really wish they kept this from the comic, that from the comic.
Hard to do sometimes.
Exactly.
Tom Bombadil, gone from Lord of the Rings.
And rightly so, if we're all going to be honest. At least that's my opinion.
Tolkien purists are like, no.
No, how dare you? But as we moved along, the show has done a really beautiful job picking and choosing from the comics and making this their own. And season 3 is no exception because our last volume is Hotel Oblivion in the actual comic book series.
Right.
And they borrow a lot of fun things from this, but we also could have run into a problem like so many other shows where then we run out of content. We run out of the existing IP. Where do we go from here? And what's really cool, I went and made sure I looked into this too, because it was, this is so fun that they keep having the same kind of concepts and ideas and just vein of the same comic series that I love. They have such a great relationship with the original creators that there's now this lovely symbiotic relationship where Gerard Way will say, oh, that's really cool in the show. I should actually use that. And you see some of that influence in like the latest Klaus volume that came out of just about him. And this does such a good job of giving you
One of my favorite characters.
Oh my
by the way.
gosh, Klaus is wonderful in this. Good Irish kid too. Wonderful, wonderful. Doing incredible dialect work. I love him so much. I think he was on another one of like the Marvel show kind of shows. Misfits, I think on Hulu. Was
Oh,
where
yeah,
the show
yeah,
got
yeah.
started. But it's really, really well done. We talked a little off camera too. The effects aren't great. You can see where they spend all the money, but it's a campier show that makes kind of sense for the stylized look.
Last season you have a character that has a head that's a goldfish bowl.
Yeah.
So I think what's great is they're not going for photorealism. They're going for whimsy.
Absolutely. This was my Star Destroyer, though, right? Where you were talking about this in our Obi-Wan
Uh-oh.
discussion of that's not a good angle, where I'd go, that's a green screen. That hell is a green
yeah,
screen. Okay, that's fine, though. And that's me nitpicking at this. The character development here is wonderful. The relationships between these siblings is so good. There are so many heartbreaking moments, too. And it does what storytelling should do. It should talk about humane issues under extraordinary circumstances and under duress and how we react in those situations. And if we had extraordinary abilities, how would we react to them? Just like The Boys does this. Would we be our best selves given certain powers and parameters? Probably not. And the show does a really great job of exploring that, time loops, paradoxes, all kinds of cool stuff.
I mean, it may be because, one of the things that's been revealed on this show for me that I am a romantic. A lot of people, and you probably you've outed me for that. But I love the family dynamic. You have these crazy misfit. I mean, everybody, and there's bickering in the Umbrella Academy, but all these characters really love each other.
They do.
And I have to say, talk about Elliot Page. There's a great scene in the first episode where Elliot Page, number 7, sits down with number 1 of the Sparrow Academy, and they kind of it was like, I'm here to talk to you, and he's giving him a hard time, and Elliot Page as number 7 as Vanya.
Yes.
Still Vanya.
Still Vanya at this point.
Still Vanya says, oh, no. I'm going to show up tomorrow. I'm going to call you out. And it was just a simple scene, but I loved it.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I'm like, I loved seeing Vanya step up and take it, when she's just standing there looking up at him as he's working out for the masses.
Yeah.
And I'm like, man, Vanya laying down the gauntlet. I don't know where it's going to go. I don't know if she actually does show up
Oh, man.
tomorrow.
There's some
Does
great
Vanya show up
stuff.
before,
So
Although it's a little difficult to talk about Vanya as
Vanya's
a
going
character.
to, and this, I mean, this all happens within the first 2 episodes.
Right,
also,
yeah,
I
yeah.
will say that we see Vanya go to Victor and everything.
Mm-hmm.
We see Victor use his powers. We see that strength and everything, but we also see some things from the past come up that could be problematic or deter them from things. So there's a lot of juicy stuff happening here. And Ray, you haven't watched Umbrella Academy,
Yeah.
right?
I was gonna say, the reason why I'm very quiet is I have nothing to say about the show. And there's probably more than just me out there. I mean, there could be a couple people that don't know anything about the show, don't have time, maybe are really picky about what they use their time on. Sell me the show. Sell it to me. What would you tell someone who's like, You guys talk about Umbrella Academy a lot. I know nothing about it. Why would I watch it? Or just
It's a show that plays on comic book tropes about adopted siblings who were conceived under mysterious and wild circumstances, gifted with super abilities, raised by a
Off the wall.
yes,
super
off the
abilities.
wall super abilities,
so
raised
they're
by an
all raised
eccentric
by a
billionaire.
supervillain.
They were
these
raised
kids?
by an eccentric, and
Do we
they're-
know if he's a supervillain or not?
We're not sure.
Maybe
But
he
in
is.
the very first season, what brings them back together is their father's death. And so they have to come to terms with the childhood they experienced and also save the world.
So wait, so these were all orphans, I assume then, right? And
They were all
they're
adopted.
separated or something like that?
They were all adopted.
Because of mysterious circumstances. I would say that one of the great things, this is going to be a weird thing to say, but as far as Netflix goes, to me, in my own head, Stranger Things and the Umbrella Academy are almost simpatico shows.
Yeah.
That if you like Stranger Things, the Umbrella Academy has nothing to do with Stranger Things, but there is a similar sensibility working in both shows. The Umbrella Academy is more like a Terry Gilliam thing, and Stranger Things is a Stephen King thing. You know, obviously, if you're a Stephen King fanatic, which, by the way, I am.
I am.
And by the way, shout out episode 1 of season 3 of For All Mankind, Misery. Margot's reading Misery. She's got it on her
Also,
bedstand.
shout out to Mist. No one liked it. I did.
Well, yeah, but a great story. But no,
Shout out.
to me, in my mind, when I think Netflix, I think their signature shows, this might seem crazy, are Umbrella Academy and Stranger Things as far as genre entertainment goes, because their Umbrella Academy broadens the scope. It's a horror series, it's a sci-fi series, it's a surreal series. It does many different things. It touches many different. It's creamy nougat at the center, but it's also peanut butter, and it's also whatever your favorite candy is, and you bite into it. The Umbrella Academy has all of those things in its gooey center.
Absolutely, it does. Oh my gosh. Well, guys, have you checked out the latest season of Umbrella Academy? It just dropped. So let us know how you're feeling about it. If this
Can't
is a show
believe you
you've been
watched
sleeping
all of
on
it.
I'm committed, Rob. I knew what I had to do. I wanted to watch it all and talk to you guys about it. And also, y'all, please, please, please go pick up these volumes from your local comic shop, too. They are so good. They are so zany. It plays with tropes. It's beautiful storytelling, incredible art. And I'd love to talk to you guys, too, about the differences between the season and the actual source material as well. But let us know your thoughts about it in the comments below. All right. With that down and out of the way, let's get into some of these super chats. Ray, do we have any member things?
Yeah, we just have one. I hope it was only one because when I talk, I can't read at the same time. So I might have missed a couple, so I apologize. But the one we have is Frankie. It's from Frankie. He's been a member for 3 months.
Yay,
He says the
Frankie!
offer is one of the best things I have watched in a long time.
That's, of course, the show about the making of The Godfather.
Yeah.
Now, I love the memes because it's about, it even says right up front, it's the recollections of Albert S. Ruddy, the producer of The Godfather, the only producer of The Godfather, who obviously won the Best Picture award. But a lot of people said the show has been very self-serving in terms of what he did, which may or may not be true. But I have to say this. I love the show. The historical, he's right. That show is wildly entertaining. If you love The Godfather 1 and 2 are my favorite movies of all time. So, and I've read so many books, but I love this show. And even though the historical records, it's a little inaccurate, it gets more accurate the deeper you get into the series. In the beginning, it's pretty much science fiction, but then, it gets more accurate. But I have to say this, anyone who's watched this, Matthew Good, who played Ozymandias in Zack Snyder's Watchmen. He plays Impresario, the man who ran Paramount, Robert Evans, legendary producer Robert Evans. And if you love movies, you owe it to yourself. I will never recommend an audio book over actually reading a book, except one. Robert Evans reads his own book, The Kid Stays in the Picture. When it came out, everyone in Hollywood listened to him. Matthew Good is so good as Robert Evans, and all of you, if you love movies and you want to know about Hollywood history, get the audiobook of The Kid Stays in the Picture and then watch The Offer because it's amazing. Matthew Good, they should make a Kid Stays in the Picture series and have Matthew. I want to watch Matthew Good snort cocaine, go out and party, and make movies. I'm telling you, it's amazing.
That sounds great. That sounds wonderful. Awesome. What he just
No,
said.
because it was the 70s, man. It was part of the whole thing. But
We've established, Ray. I spent a lot of money on this nose. I'm not putting stuff up it.
yeah, man. But you can tell Robert Evans. You can tell like his septum is
Yeah,
totally
that is-
deviated.
that is
Like, oh
good.
my god. Listen, Bubby. Yeah. You can tell.
All right. What else do we have? That's it. Okay, we'll go to the super chats then. Oh, am I reading them, Rob?
Oh,
I can do them.
I didn't realize. We didn't talk about that.
Sorry.
Chris. What's our next topic? Scotty Hale sends in a super chat and says, "Hey crew, I wanted your thoughts on season 6 of Peaky Blinders. I went hard and dark. Loved it. I can't wait to see how they finish it. Game day for the boys. It is game day for the boys.
It is.
I love Peaky Blinders. I've not watched the new season. Have you watched it?
No.
I haven't watched it either, but Cillian Murphy kills it on the show. I'm looking forward to it, although I have heard it's not as good as people wanted it to be.
Oh, well, that's a shame.
Well, what are you going to do?
Yeah.
I don't know. Stub McShave all the way from Sweden says, tomorrow, it's midsummer. Not weird like the movie, just a pagan ritual of boozing, singing, and dancing around a phallic symbol fertilizing the earth.
Wow.
Well,
we're already doing most of that.
yeah. I wish I could fertilize the earth.
Happy Midsummer, Rob.
Cheers to you, Chris. Happy midsummer, and to all of you.
to all of you at home.
everybody. I hope everyone dances around a phallic symbol and fertilizes the earth because God knows we need to be more environmentally conscious.
Yeah. Cheers.
Cheers. J Master, 1 of 2. Uh-oh.
$20 super chat, too.
$20 super chat from J Master. And by the way, breaking news from Rolling Stone. Ezra Miller has reportedly been housing 3 children in a gun-filled farm. Video footage shows 8 firearms in the living room and a 1-year-old baby reportedly had a bullet in its mouth. Jay goes on to say, the father claims the children are in danger and he has been trying to retrieve them since April. The mother, who also lives at the farm, claims Ezra's home has been a healing haven for her and her children aged 1 to 5. First of all, okay.
The baby did, according to this unnamed source, pick up a bullet and put it in its mouth. It wasn't like the baby got shot in the mouth and caught it with its
Oh
That
my!
would be
tooth.
incredible.
Because then he would be superpowered.
I know that's not
Academy.
better. But also, one of the reasons why we all
boy.
paused on this was because it was an unknown source, a mother who does not want to say her name. And I respect all of that, but we're not a TMZ kind of thing.
No, but I would say, but wasn't Ezra Miller in Hawaii?
I thought that's where they were.
Like she's been at his camp since April, but he was in Hawaii.
I mean, maybe they're house sitting in the farm in Vermont,
Could be.
making sure all those guns are safe.
Yeah. That's a little wacky. I don't know. All I know is that I don't think Ezra Miller can run fast enough to get away from all of this.
And
craziness.
whatever's true, whatever's false, let's just hope that no one dies from
Yeah,
all
we
this
just don't want
mess,
anyone to get hurt.
which is the most important. I don't. It just no one's life should be, taken from all this craziness. Because I'm not surprised about anything I hear anymore. If you guys tell me something happened, oh yeah, Ezra hid in the moon. It just
Your
wouldn't
moon,
matter.
no.
It's all crazy to me. Like all this news. I don't know.
Yeah.
If Ezra Miller did hide in the moon, would you take the moons away from behind you?
I wouldn't even mention the moon's name anymore.
We'd put a little flash action.
Like I
figure
don't
up
mention his name anymore. It's just kind of like there's a lot of stuff that like I feel about this that I'm not gonna share, but I just think it's all wrong. I think people need to take responsibility for their actions. That's
I
it.
do. I
agree
concur.
with that. If you all are interested in reading more on that, we know Rolling Stone reported on that and a couple other news outlets, and we'll leave all that up to them because as we've always done this show, we just talk about how Ezra's actions are affecting the films
The
that
film
may
itself.
or may not exist. So that's where we stand. But thank you so much for ultimately sending in $40 there too, Jay. We really appreciate you.
Very much so. Thanks for supporting the channel and bringing things like this to light.
Yeah.
By the way, I should say people who want to know, this is a talking head shirt.
Yeah.
You may ask yourself.
Does it actually spin?
It does, but
You
I
have to spin Rob if you do that, but
So there you go. By the way, I got it from TeePublic.
Love TeePublic.
I'm a big fan, and I go through and I buy like 10 different crazy genre shirts. I don't usually go rock and roll, but this was I thought funny, so I got that. Luis Enrique de la Peña sends in a super chat and says, "The video game Deliver Us the Moon is out now with a free next-gen upgrade. It's a third-person moon exploration game where you're in a space station." You sold me.
This is for you.
I'm sorry, I was just reading something from Cincinnati 5-Star. He's taunting me because I don't have a PlayStation. So he
As
can't-
well he should,
You basically
Ray.
have one. I don't have one either.
Yeah,
You
because
at
he
least
wants
get
to play
John's.
Turtles. I've been playing that Turtles game, but what was the question
Deliver
about?
Us the
Sorry.
Moon.
There's a moon game.
Yes, Deliver Us. I'm gonna watch it as soon as we're done with work because it sounds really cool.
Yeah.
It sounds like there's some exploration.
yeah, and
on the moon.
you're unraveling like a mystery. It's
Oh,
cool.
that's fine.
Did they make that game for me?
Yes.
Mystery,
Mystery Moon.
the
Dude.
moon,
I'm going to tell you,
except only on PS5.
as an old school video gamer, one of my very favorite vector graphics, we're talking asteroids era video games, was Lunar Lander. And literally the game is you have to like use a throttle to land the LEM, the Lunar Excursion Module, on the moon. And the last place I ever played it, the last place that had it was Disneyland.
Oh,
Disneyland used to have an incredible arcade, and it was right next, it was adjacent to Space Mountain. And they were the last place that had Lunar Lander. And if somebody said to me, they're like, "Rob, if you could have an old school video game and you'd buy it, an upright game, what would you get?" I'd be like, well, I'd want either Defender or Stargate. Star Castle. Oh, snap. Dude, let me tell you, this video game, if I could buy a video game or an emulator, this game, this is why
Wait.
Jonathan Boyko is perhaps
Right?
the greatest
He's
producer working in
amazing.
wait a
YouTube
second.
today.
Hold on.
Dude.
This is the game you're talking about?
Yes.
This is supposed to be the moon?
Dude. Yes, it's the moon, dude. You got to use your imagination.
Is this how
I
you
understand
always
you're a
were
younger
playing?
generation, but we Gen X people, we projected. We looked at our vector graphics and like, damn right, that's the moon.
Yeah, but look at all that metadata there. It's really cool. It's
Dude,
simulator.
it's this game with the velocity. I am telling you, I could play this game for hours. And if I could get an actual, I don't think you'd have to get an emulator and a new screen. If I could get, I would love to have this game.
I will tell you, man, that arcade, specifically the one next to Space Mountain,
Dude.
that was the stuff of legends. That arcade was like, I was too young, but I wanted to spend hundreds of dollars in that
Dude,
arcade next to
when
Space
I
Mountain.
moved to LA, I used to go to Disneyland just to go to that arcade.
Yeah.
Oh,
just to
nice.
play Lunar Lander because you could not find it anywhere else.
I don't know if it's still set up that way at Disney World, but they had an arcade too.
Oh.
That was really, really great. Because when I was an intern there, that's where I spent a bunch of my time.
Yeah.
I loved it.
It was, and then when they took it out,
Womp
See?
womp.
anyway, where are
answer
we?
These questions.
See,
Yeah.
With
we're
info
so far away from. Where are we at? Are we on the John Campea Show right now?
We're at Disneyland.
Alex Mata sends in a super chat and says, "I watched Elvis last night in Screen X. It was awesome." Now, have you all watched John's Out of the Theater review of Elvis?
No.
No.
You haven't?
I was watching Umbrella
I don't
Academy,
watch
homie.
anything, John.
Okay, I just want you to know, like, John Campea is my boss, but I also go to his channel sometimes and watch him when he does things that I didn't know he was going to do, like make a video about Elvis. So all of you, please go on down to the video right out of the theater, his review of Elvis, and check it out.
I'll have to check that out. Did you see his sweet fireside chat? He said
Yeah.
nice things about us.
I thought it was directed at me.
No, because then he's like, you don't always find a Robert Meyer Burnett.
Yeah, you don't.
True,
Like,
but that was because he wanted to like move the conversation away from me. I've given up my gatekeeper status
Because people don't know how to.
because now I'm the
fountain.
fountainhead.
You are the
People
founder.
take it
Fandom.
too seriously. That's the problem.
Yeah.
All right.
That's my
Okay.
favorite thing ever, by the way.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for that. Josh Becker says a new Thor trailer came out today, and it showcases the two goats and they scream a lot.
Is that what you were giggling at so much,
no,
Ray?
there's a shot. I don't know if it's any other shot, but there's like a leg spreadage involved, and it just made me laugh. I don't know if you guys seen it yet.
What did they see, Clarice? What did they see? The goats
haven't-
are screaming.
Oh
checked
my
it
god,
out.
that shot made me. Now I've been keeping away from any more clips or trailers from this movie, but today I don't know. It's something in me that I felt like watching this one. They were saying it just came out. I'm glad I did because now I really want to see this film.
Oh, good.
Whatever I saw.
Wait. You didn't want to see Thor: Love and Thunder?
Well, it wasn't like, you guys yesterday were like, John, or we have one more week to see Thor. And I was just like, oh, yeah.
It's not Thor: Love and Moon.
Yeah. But now it's like.
Well, it
okay,
is. If
let's
you
go
see the
this.
shot when he loses his the clothes, there's a giant, I'm sure in the actual movie we
Yeah,
get
he
the
flicked too
full-on
hard.
moon.
We get the full on moon.
And even eyes, when I talk about representation, even Chris Hemsworth ass, I'll watch that because that's a fantastic moon.
Yeah.
And plus the Rocket Raccoon stuff they had was, one of my favorite characters in the MCU. So
There you go.
let's do it.
Looks good. Film Code Podcast says a great comedy from last year that went completely ignored was Wes Anderson's The French Dispatch. Totally could have been nominated for some awards. What do you think?
Well, this might be me living in a bubble because for me, that was not completely ignored. I got to go to the studio to go watch a screening with Henry Winkler, and it was amazing. Nicest man in Hollywood.
Yeah.
Such a sweetie.
By the way, Ron Howard with Michael Keaton should make Night Shift 2. Call it Day Shift. Bring back Bill Blazejowski and Henry Winkler. Why? One of the we talked about 80s sequels
Yeah.
on this show that should get made.
One. Oh, that's a great
Riskier
one.
Business and Day Shift. And bring back Michael Keaton and Henry Winkler. Ron Howard.
That is
Come
good.
on.
That's
Come on.
real good.
Right?
Yeah, but I
Also,
went and saw-
Night Shift is 40 years old this year.
Man, so many things aged today. Turned 40. Oh my goodness. But I went and saw that, and there was a lot of, at least for on the actor side of things, like there was a very big push for getting Screen Actor Guild Award nominations for them.
What a cast in that movie.
It's such a cast. It's such a great ensemble. Timothy Chalamet is wonderful in that film. He's wonderful in everything.
Are you a Wes Anderson fan?
I love Wes Anderson.
So give me a few rankings, not rankings, but what are some of your favorite Wes Anderson?
I love Royal Tenenbaums, Life Aquatic, Fantastic Mr. Fox. I would put French Dispatch up here. It's the most Wes Andersons. Particularly, there's this one, because they're kind of segmented in this. There's a really great story.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, what was your favorite segment?
Oh, yeah, the food critic one.
That was mine too.
Oh,
With
it's
Jeffrey,
so
with
good.
Jeffrey Rush, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was mine too.
Oh, it's wonderful.
Didn't he do that dog movie too? The Isle of Dogs.
Yeah, he did.
He did do I
Would
Love
that
Yeah, he
be
did.
good? Because
Isle of Dogs is great.
Cute, yeah. Oh, and then oh gosh, what is the cute one about them being campers? Moonrise Kingdom.
Yep.
Moonrise Kingdom,
Great.
yeah.
It's adorable. Yeah. I
My
love all
favorite is Darjeeling.
Darjeeling's
I have a
good.
thing about movies that are set on trains, and I love Darjeeling. That's why I love From Russia
With Love.
and obviously there's some Hitchcock films on a train, right?
oh yeah,
Strangers
But,
on a Train.
Yeah.
That's coming out. Bullet
But
Train.
Darjeeling is my number one. I really love Grand Budapest.
It's Grand Budapest is great.
Yeah, and then I probably say Life Aquatic, and then Royal Tenenbaums, and then after that, just whatever.
By the way, Life Aquatic does not get the love it deserves.
It
I mean,
should get
people
so
are
much
talking
love.
about
Got the crazy eyes.
It's so good. And by the way, shout out though. Look, I have the Criterion. I love his first film, Bottle Rocket. First time I saw
yeah.
Owen Wilson, I love that. And I love Rushmore.
Rushmore's a great.
And Elizabeth, my lady, she loves Wes Anderson. So
But yeah, French Dispatch maybe should have got more love. Thanks, Film Code Podcast.
yes, it should. Damn it. The robo producer sends in a super chat and says, I know, John, you've given up on The Flash, but that season finale from last night, dare I say, The Flash is back. Hashtag reverse flash. Insert red eyes.
Wait, the
Well,
Reverse Flash is back?
And wait, the season ended last night too.
I guess so.
So now the Flash movie has gone through how many seasons of the
this
Flash?
is the completion of season
yeah, we're
9.
gonna so number 9. We're going to season 10.
We're going into 10.
10
Wow.
is the last season, right?
Nice Beatles call out there, Rob.
You like that?
Number 9.
Thank you. No one will, I am wearing the Talking Head shirt,
Dude,
so I
I'm a
got to go
music
in.
guy, so come on.
I can't believe that we live in a world where people are like, the Beatles are overrated.
Number 9.
Sure.
We work for one of those guys.
Wow.
But at least
Yeah.
he gives props to Rolling Stones, which are great
Yeah.
too. So.
That's true. But I know the Flash was trending, and I've heard good things about this season. The last few episodes supposedly have been really great. I just quit it though, and now they're trying to pull me back in.
What's the last show you guys quit, gave up on, and actually returned to, and actually loved it when you returned to? Is there any off the top of your head that's ever happened? Usually, when I give up a show, it's done. I'm
Well,
done.
I quit
never
Star
go
Trek
back.
every week.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Why do you even ask for all
I
that?
come back every week.
Just for everyone who's actually not insane.
I feel like when I quit a show, I quit it for good.
Are you commenting on my mental health, Ray? Is that what you're doing?
So rude. So
Okay,
mean.
let's move on. Let's
Hang on. No. Chris had something.
Oh no,
to
I
say.
was just saying. Usually, when I quit something, I quit it for good. Riverdale is the one that I kept trying to quit, and then finally did right before they became superheroes who watch each other fuck. Which seems like the wrong time to quit.
Someone actually brought up a good one for me, and it's the same thing with me. WWE. Sometimes sometimes I go back when there's a story that I actually find entertaining. So WWE does that to me. So good call.
Movie Fan 109 sends in a $20 super chat. Thank you, Movie Fan 109. I know John's talked about not liking Christian movies, which he has a point to his dislike, but I was wondering, have you all heard or seen the show The Chosen? It's the highest community-funded TV show. Now, I would say this. I have heard of this show, and people keep saying it's good.
Really?
Now, I think what our friend is talking about is faith-based movies. I've actually worked on one. I was the assistant editor on a faith-based movie called Like Dandelion Dust, which is an adoption story. I was adopted, so it was. Here's the thing. I don't object to faith-based films. I like films that deal with religious concepts, and I do. Because I find religion fascinating. It's dominated human civilization since we came out of the trees or whatever. So I don't object to that. What I object to is bad movies.
Yeah.
That's it. I think Like Dandelion Dust, not just because I worked on it. I didn't direct it, but it's really good.
Yeah.
You know, Mira Sorvino is in it. Barry Pepper is in it. It's got some great.
That's a great cast.
It's got it's
nice.
really, really good. Yeah. So I don't. But The Chosen sounds. I've heard some things about it. It sounds good. I would totally watch it. I love religious theme. I mean, when I was growing up, Ben-Hur, The Robe. It's just like I love Passion of the Christ. I'm a religious film fan.
mean, like my heathen ass has been in a Christian film.
Really?
Yeah, I'm in a short that won some awards. But it comes down to storytelling ultimately.
Yep.
Right?
I actually watched one the other day, and I didn't know it was one until I was already knee deep into it. It was the one about the boy that drowned and he was like technically dead.
Oh, yeah,
and
yeah,
then
yeah.
they
Oh,
revived
yeah.
him. I think I looked it up. It's Breakthrough.
Okay.
I don't know why it was on, but I was working and then I just watched the whole thing. It was a good movie.
Well, I mean, if you think about it, The Exorcist is faith-based.
It is faith-based.
I mean, The Exorcist to me is one of the great religious movies of all time because it basically says God exists. Your faith is important. And if you believe in God, you can save the soul of an innocent from the devil.
That's why when you are raised Catholic, that movie is bone chilling because this could happen to me at any given moment. I have to protect my soul. Like Logan and I get into fights about this one because he does not think this is a scary movie at all. He thinks The Exorcist is laughable.
Okay.
And I will freak out thinking about
divorce
the
him.
imagery.
He's wrong.
No, I love him.
Okay, you might love him, but he's wrong about this. The Exorcist. Look, I'm a Jew. And The Exorcist is my favorite horror film. We don't have the great things about Catholics. You get vampires and you get The Exorcist.
This is very true.
Because it's like
We hit 'em all.
in Fright Night. You have to have faith for this to work on me, Mr. Vincent. Like if you don't believe, the cross doesn't work.
Exactly. God, Fright Night's
So
so good.
good.
Even the remake of Fright Night, I really enjoy.
It's not bad. You know what?
It's fun.
It's not a bad remake, but the original is peak
It's got David
80s
Tennant being all
awesomeness.
sexy.
65 millimeter visual effects by Richard Edlund.
It's good stuff.
Where are we at? Power is Power sends in a super chat and says, while musicals aren't usually my jam, my favorite one is Dr. Horrible's sing-along blog. Now,
Yes.
I would say that it's not obviously a film. It's not a feature film, but it's fantastic.
So cute.
And Doogie Howser, Neil Patrick Harris. How great is he?
Oh, such a song and dance man. He's
He
wonderful.
is, by the way, like our boss. Our boss doesn't want to admit it, but John Campea is a song and dance man.
He absolutely is. And I love that one. Dr. Horrible is such a good one to choose
Such a
from.
good one.
And
I wouldn't have watched The Greatest Showman if it wasn't for John
I
Campea.
know. And speaking of good stuff, we are going to hear from another good folk who supports our show, the good folks over at MeUndies.
We want to thank the sponsor of today's video, MeUndies. Guys, it is summertime, which means you got a lot of great fun plans, but make sure part of those plans is wearing MeUndies. Because MeUndies wants to make this summer the most comfortable one that you'll never forget, because when you're living your best life in the summer, the last thing you want to worry about is butt sweat and junk swamp. Listen, when you're feeling comfy and feeling good, you're more present to enjoy all your summer plans. It's like science or something. MeUndies has the lightest and most breathable fabrics to keep you cool and comfortable wherever you go. From undies, bralettes and socks, loungewear and swimwear, you can find something for all of your plans. MeUndies also releases new prints all the time, like their limited edition Pride collection. You can match with your partner, friends, or even your dog. Find your ultimate summer comfort in sizes extra small to 4XL. You guys know I have been wearing MeUndies for a couple of months now, and I will never go back to regular underwear. And right now, MeUndies has a great offer for all the viewers and listeners of the John Campea Show. For any first-time purchasers, you get 15% off. For a limited time, if you sign up for their free-to-join MeUndies membership, you get 25% off your first membership item. So to get 15% off your first order or 25% off your first membership item and a 100% satisfaction guarantee, go to MeUndies.com/Campea. That's MeUndies.com/Campea.
And thank you to everyone over at MeUndies. MeUndies, if you want the bat signal across your butt, go check them out. All right, let's get back into these super chats. Rob, what do we have next?
Well, we have Stubble McShave all the way from Sweden. He says, I got YouTube Premium. Nice to escape all the auto ads.
Ooh, nice, Stubble. Good for you.
Well, I didn't realize that. You know what? I'm joining. Even though I'm on YouTube, I
Yeah.
have my own show, and this show I cannot
Oh,
take.
yeah, man. You
The
don't
ad
have-
revenue is insane.
Oh yeah,
Crazy.
YouTube Premium. I've had it for like years and never looked back.
Man, I never. I can't deal with the ads.
I am cheap AF. I will keep doing these ads.
Hmm.
What else do we have?
Well, we've got Al Renshaw says, in the newest Thor 4 Team TV spot, I noticed something. As Thor's ship is leaving Olympus, you see what looks like gold celestials as doors, kind of like the Argonath in Lord of the Rings. Thoughts, Eternal's celestials appearance? Well, wouldn't you think, Chris, that the celestials should kind of appear in a Thor movie?
I feel like they should, especially when we're dealing with a god butcher. I mean,
Come get your meat.
right? It feels very circle gets square. Right?
Wow.
Ray,
I am
Ray-
right there
Ray's
with you.
Falling asleep on us.
Oh no, Ray!
Snorlax over there. Got to catch them all.
Keep boogieing then. What else do we
Asleep.
have?
100 movie marathon sends in a super chat and says, "Hey, Batman Beyond crew, Terry McGinnis forever." If each of you could get one fictional character tattooed onto your body, oh, this is a great question. Who would it be, Chris? One fictional character tattooed to your body. By the way, I would add an addendum to that. Who would it be, and where would you get that tattoo?
Okay, this is really difficult because my dad brainwashed me with Jimmy Buffett as a child, where I'd be 5 and he'd be like, Christine, what's a tattoo? A permanent reminder of a temporary feeling. So that's like in the back of my head all the time.
Okay, that's
Nice.
not
That's
part of the
actually pretty good.
scenario.
I know. I would probably end up getting something Sailor Moon or Spike Spiegel-y, because those were very formative
And where?
characters to me. I'd be boring and do like a wrist or an ankle. I wouldn't do a whole like sleeve or anything, or maybe back of the shoulder.
Rayora, if you got a tattoo of a fictional character, where would it be and where on your body? Or no, who would it be and where would
If
it
this
be?
was back in the day, it would have been Spider-Man for sure. But
But where? Arm, leg?
like arm, like an elbow with the webs on the elbow. But that whole thing is played over. But now, if I were to get one now, and it would have to be, it'd probably be just because how lightning would look cool, either of Thor or Mighty Jane Thor. You know, somewhere. Just because the lightning would look cool, but that's it. That's all I could think of if I had to pick.
Jonathan,
But I wouldn't want one at all. So
would you get a fictional character tattooed, and where would it be?
Yeah, well, this would be totally hypothetical because I'm not really into getting tattoos and probably wouldn't. And at first I was like, I can't even think of anyone that I'd rather. I was like, man, I love wolves, but big deal. Okay, we said fictional character, and I thought, oh, Ghost from Game of Thrones. I would do a
Yeah.
Ghost.
Ooh, that's a good one. I like that.
I like that a lot.
Great. We can move on now.
Yeah.
What?
Come on, man. If I had a fictional character tattooed anywhere, I'd have to get James Tiberius Kirk.
Where would he be?
Nice.
You know what? He would go right on my shoulder, and I would probably use the artwork that's on the cover of the very first James Blish Star Trek. As a matter of fact, you know what? I'll even go further. I would have the entire cover of Star Trek 1, that entire artwork from the James Blish.
So not just his face.
No, it's not just him. It's the it's the entirety of Star Trek. And you know what? Let's be honest. If I had tattoos, I'd do 2 sleeves. I'd do whole arms.
Yeah.
I'd go Star Trek on one arm, and then on the other arm, all my favorite genre movies, from everything from Dawn of the Dead and Phantasm to Clockwork Orange to Blade Runner to Star Wars. I just have a melange of stuff.
My headcanon was you would have Kirk on your shoulder so you could ask him for advice.
D-
But then
I
also
love
give him a
that.
little kiss every now and then.
Oh
Like,
my God!
would you
for
say
sure.
that your Star Trek tattoo is better than any modern Star Trek tattoo?
I would. Yes. Yeah. You know why? Because I don't believe modern Star Trek. Even the set design, no sets on a starship would be as big as the ones in Strange New
Your
Worlds.
tattoo would require an allegory, though.
And one more
It
person.
would require.
One more person. How could I forget Darth Maul? That would have been my pick. There
with
you
legs
go.
or without?
Huh?
With
Hey, how dare you?
Oh,
Come on, man.
What's next?
That's actually a valid question because it would
Yeah,
define
but-
which hot toy of Maul would you buy. Would you want to buy my Darth Maul with Sith speeder
Yes.
from me?
That one. The one.
Or
with
would
the
you
original-
like me to get the Clone Wars Darth Maul?
Before he got cut in half.
Yeah, well, that's what my Maul is.
Yeah. Thank you for
You know,
giving it to me.
I have lots of Mauls.
What's next, guys?
Yeah. What's next? Let's go.
Cole Reed says, welcome to Canada. May 15th, my birthday. Doctor Strange in 4DX at West Edmonton Mall goes nicely with a 98% THC cartridge.
Wow.
I entered the multiverse. By the way, can I just say,
Jeez.
I want to say that Edmonton. I went to Edmonton. There was a film festival in Canada called Local Heroes, and I showed Free Enterprise in Edmonton and went to that mall. It's one of the biggest mall. I mean, that mall is great. I love the 2 towns in Canada. I don't know if John's been to them. Edmonton and Winnipeg. They rule. And this is going to seem crazy. I would love to spend January to April in Winnipeg making a movie one year.
That'd be fun. Let's do it.
The dead of winter. I've got one. We should do it.
Okay. I'm in.
All right. It's cold as
That's fine.
Cole Reed. That's not. I already said that. Film Code Podcast said Diane Keaton is single. Sliding into her DMs now.
You should,
Hey,
Film Code
yo,
Podcast.
Film Code Podcast. Be
Get
respectful. Be respectful. Don't be a douche.
But get it.
She is
Go get it.
amazing.
She is gorgeous and so
Oh
talented.
my god.
And it's funny as hell.
What?
And
Just kidding.
Call her.
Okay.
Irene Jobson says, favorite 80s movie and 90s, Irene. 2 decades worth of amazing cinema.
Yeah.
That's tough.
That's too much time.
Yeah.
But we got to get, like, okay. Just
Pump up the volume. For me.
pump up the volume. Not bad. You know, Happy Hard Harry.
I'm going to do a 90s guilty pleasure, and that is the Goofy movie. That movie is fire.
Wow, Irene's going, I'm so disappointed. Jonathan?
She's not. She's a millennial.
this isn't written in stone. This is because you just asked. I'm going to throw it out there. So E.T. 80s, Jurassic Park 90s.
Wow.
There you go.
You did 2.
What are yours?
Wow.
She said 80s and 90s.
Empire Strikes Back, 1980. 90s, my God, I would say Independence Day.
There you go. That's a great one.
Why not?
All
You will
right.
not go quietly into the night.
Today we celebrate. Al Renshaw says, the prime directive now is to find and post Campea breakdancing videos. Look, I've known John Campea since 2015. It's been 7 effing years. If I could get those, I mean, he is Pisces in the Zodiac crew. it would blow up the internet.
It would.
I don't think, Al, that I have given up on this quest. I actually told John briefly, I said, we called your mother. For a minute, he thought I was kidding.
Yeah.
I thought I was being
serious.
real. Yeah, I'm going to call his mom.
I love that Al thinks that I can just say I have them, though, to try to get the Gmail password. That's not how this works. If I can't get into his computer, how would I have the videos? How would this all happen? Al, we gotta do this heist better.
By the way, I haven't finished reading his thing.
Oh yeah, here we go.
Yeah, that was
Chris, so you say you have them and use that to get his Gmail login and a hot toy.
Can I say something that's very unpopular, particularly to you? I kind of don't care about getting a hot toy, guys.
Whoa!
Well, okay, let's face it. I talked to Logan. He said you are a hot toy.
Oh, he wouldn't objectify me like that, but thank you,
Was
Rob.
that his proposal? He's like, girl, you're
That's
a
not
hot toy.
objectification. That is true love. That's a representation of his imagination, which you fulfill.
That's fair. That's fair.
Come on. I don't objectify my hot toys. They have babies in their arms.
It's true. They're fathers. They're single fathers.
Where's Obi? You trashed him.
Stubbling Shave all the way from Sweden says, Rob, Xenomorph love. Okay, this is a long story to explain. We want to know how far the panel could go if they found that special alien companion from pop culture. Where do you draw the line? I need to explain a little bit of this.
Is he talking about fucking an alien?
Well, yeah. So,
Well, he's like, in a word, yes.
So here's the thing. On my own channel, there has been an ongoing debate for years now. Like in Star Trek, for instance, Spock's parents, Amanda Grayson, is a human woman, and Spock's father, Sarek, a Vulcan, Ambassador Sarek, is a Vulcan. And they had a child, Spock. So the question is, if you're talking about, we have enough racism on this planet, but when you move into the stars and in Aliens, they even say it doesn't matter if it's Octurian, baby. They don't care. So how far would you go if you wanted to love an alien? Like everyone can love David Bowie and say Man Who Fell to Earth. You could love Sarek, a Vulcan, because he's a very handsome, man. Mark Leonard, very. How far into the alien species could you go? Like, could you make love to a xenomorph, the alien from Alien, because it's pretty gross, or the Predator, or say the glowing aliens from Cocoon? How far could you go?
Well,
That's
I think
what
even
Stubble's asking.
physically, if you even got a drop of drool from a xenomorph, you'd melt your arm off. So
Yeah.
No, drool is it's the blood, dude.
Oh, so okay, but
We'd have to go on a couple dates. I'd have to be wined and dined. A xenomorph, I'd have to be very wined.
But
Very
you would at least entertain the idea.
Maybe we could fall in love.
What if the
Perhaps. I don't wanna be
xenomorph was real?
specious.
But what if he was really, really smart, or
What if
they
he-
were really, really
What if they're
smart?
really sweet and smart? I don't know.
It's a good question. I would ask all of our viewers, how far would you go with an alien, and what would be the alien you could fall in love with? In what movie, or what could you love E.T.?
I always do this as the District 9 paradox of if your partner transformed into one of those aliens, would you still be with them? If Elizabeth turned into a District 9 alien, do we need to see what's next?
Well, I could see some possibilities that could be pleasurable. It would just be a little hard to take her home to mom.
That's true.
You know?
That's fair.
What do you think,
man.
Ray?
No, I'm just laughing at this question. I don't
What
know.
kind of
I'm sorry.
alien are you willing
I'm
to have
sorry.
sex
I know
with?
you're trying to answer it. Like,
I know, but Ray, in all seriousness, of all the aliens that you've met in movies, is there an alien species you look like? What about Syl in Species? She looks like
don't
Natasha
remember.
Henstridge.
It
Could
would
you?
have to be. It would have to be somewhat Star Wars, I guess. I don't know.
Okay, what
Are
about
they
those
aliens?
chicks in the bar in Mos Eisley? Those girls that are smoking the long cigarettes.
sure.
They're looking at Luke, right? You could hook. But what if they would devour you after you spent
Oh,
the
you know
night?
what alien I thought was cute when I remember that show Out of This World. Remember, she used to have that little box that opened, and she was an alien. There you go. But she looked like a human, so that's cheap. I guess that's cheap, right?
I'm just saying, it's a great question to ponder.
And it took us on a journey.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow.
All right. What's
Thank you,
next?
Stubble. Alan Ling says, hey guys, should I watch the What We Do in Shadows movie before I touch the show for comparison? Or can I just watch the show? Well, Alan, I would say this. The movie's really good. And I think the premise is there, but I think they've done a good job of making the show its own thing.
Yeah, if you see the movie in a couple episodes, you'll get some really fun Easter eggs and some
Right.
cameos, but you don't need to see that to enjoy the TV show or vice versa. So watch this however you want to see it.
Yeah, I totally agree. Glenn Hibbert sends in a super chat and says, rewatching Gargoyles.
Yes.
Oh, man. It just occurred to me that Matt Reeves and company did a switcheroo. I've always got biblical Goliath name connection, but missed the Xanatost's first name is David. Crafty writers.
Man, Gargoyles was perfect.
Really good.
Perfect show.
So, Chris, do you think they'll ever make a why is there no Gargoyles live action film?
Well, and this is one that would work. I don't understand why we're doing all kinds of different animation adaptations for live action when this is so ripe for it. Because this is before, I'm going to geek out a little bit. This is before we really got into like pre-life kind of voiceover, right? When I say pre-life, that's the kind of plussing where things sound very, very lived in. Laughter, breath, things that take you out of the uncanny
Okay,
valley.
whoa. This is very interesting. Let me just slow you down.
Okay,
Pre-life.
pre-life.
What does that mean?
So pre-life is when you don't make things as animated in voiceover, you make them more realistic
Okay.
and lived in human sounds, right? And that doesn't necessarily mean you're playing a human character. It's just a stylistic choice of doing things like you might have a heavy sigh before you start talking, or there might be different cadences or patterns. It just sounds more like live action. You just happen to be recording it on a microphone. So it's a much more subtle approach to
That's
voice
it.
acting.
Where can I find your show?
Where can you
how
find
can
my
I- how
show?
can I sign
you
up for
take
your
classes with
class?
me? Oh my gosh, go online. It's great. ebstudios.com. But this is why Gargoyles was so great, though, is that it was Shakespearean level stakes,
Right.
coupled with a really great kind of crime drama and all this fantastical stuff that would work so well. I think you could seamlessly transition this into live action, where so many other things fall flat because you lose what the medium brings to the table. This, you could do really cool practical effects a la Lord of the Rings and have an awesome, awesome series done or film.
I'm with you. I mean, I liked. I mean, obviously, what you just explained was amazing to me, and now I think you plussed my appreciation for the show.
Well,
but I was
Retro Dota does the pre-life thing really well too.
yeah. Well,
Meredith
yes.
Lane makes sure everyone is very grounded.
Well, thank you. Yeah. And by the way, Dota season 3, which I was
You
the
can stream
animatic
now.
editor for, drops on August 13th. But I think what's really interesting about what you just said, I think Gargoyles would make a fantastic live action show. Why hasn't that happened? Why do you think it hasn't happened?
I don't know. There were rumors several years ago that Jordan Peele was eyeing the property to do something with it, and I think that would be dope.
Yeah.
But I'm not
Or
sure.
nope.
Or no. I'm not sure why we're not doing anything with this one. Maybe it's lurking in the shadows. Maybe we're just waiting for them to burst out of their rocks and onto the scene.
I would love to see that. I think that's a
amazing.
natural. Luis Enrique de la Peña sends in another super chat and says, right now I'm paying about $7 for Netflix's basic tier for one TV. Would that become the ad tier, or are they going to add a new one? Look, I think they're going to add a new one.
That's what it sounds like.
You know, they have to.
Yeah.
Don't
There's going
they?
to be a more Apple Plus level pricing, it sounds like. Maybe a $5.99er like, Ray and I are paying right now.
Yeah.
And they'll go from there. It sounds like they're not going to affect any of the other tiers. That could change, but what the talks are saying right now is this is a brand new tier to usher in new subscribers.
Yeah. Yeah. Timbula, the spider monkey.
Yeah.
There's a name. There's a
Timbula.
name I haven't heard in a long time. How are you, sir? Hey, BB crew. Rob, bruh.
Bruh.
Shin, okay. Shin Kamen Rider. Imagine the 6-scale figure and bike. What do you think about a Shin's shared universe? Okay, guys. So Kamen Rider is, let's call Kamen Rider the first Japanese superhero.
Ooh.
And Kamen Rider is very Super Sentai kind of a thing. I mean, he's a grasshopper looking motorcycle riding superhero. And Shin Kamen Rider, look up Shin Kamen Rider right now like Shin Godzilla, it's a more realistic take.
There we go.
Bam! I mean, that is, I
Jonathan
love
on
Shin
the ball.
Kamen Rider. By the way,
Passionate.
someone recently stole my quarter scale Enter Bay Kamen Rider
Oh
figure.
wow, that's a big boy.
Yeah, you know, let me
How'd
just
you lose
say,
that one?
I'm really upset about it. By the way, I'm really upset. Whoever did that, you know who you are.
That was cruel. That
You
was
also
mean.
you also stole my 1/12 scale Hot Toys, the bat. You know, I understand it's my own fault. I understand, but still, I want my Enter Bay Shin Kamen Rider back. But I can't wait. It looks great. I think if you guys haven't seen Shin Godzilla, it's Toho's man in suit. Well, also CG answer.
Yeah.
It's really good.
Someone mentioned Shin Ultraman.
Yeah, same
Yeah.
thing. I mean, you know, but Shin Kamen Rider. I love Kamen Rider. I'm a big fan.
Did you just my Ultraman? You
I didn't. I love Ultraman, but
He says Shin.
No, Shin Ultraman.
Not shush.
I didn't say shush or shit. Shin.
Yeah. Okay.
It's great stuff.
I love Ultraman.
Yeah,
Ultraman's
but there's
awesome.
so much Ultraman.
Yeah,
That's
there
very
I mean,
is.
there's Super 7. There's there's all.
Disappointed in
Pardon me, Ultra 7. I should say.
disappointed in season 2 of Ultraman, the anime series. I'm not digging it so far. I still have to finish it, but yeah.
Yeah. What's
Oh
next?
my God, I don't know. Living with Dameron says, I've been a channel member since day one. However, I wonder, which member am I? I hope I'm the whiner.
The wiener.
The
Member.
wiener?
You walked right into that. Oh.
You know what?
Bobby.
If
Oh,
that's
Bobby,
what
Bubby.
you want to be, bring on the filthy. You bring on the filthy.
Yeah. If you want to be a little wiener, you go
You
for
can be
it.
the wiener. You know,
Yeah.
the number one member.
Yeah.
I still don't get it, but I think I get it.
Andy
I'll explain it to you
says,
later, Ray.
whenever Rob does ASMR voice, an angel gains wings.
Aww.
Who am I to object to that? And by the way, if that's the case, I feel like at any moment of my life where I'm not talking like this, I could be making angels all
Yeah.
the time.
Don't you feel selfish now for using your big boy voice?
I mean,
all the time?
the thing is, though, you're the voice coach.
Yeah, but no one's ever like Chris Carr's soothing dulcet tones.
Yeah, but I feel like every time I try and do a voice on the show, I'm being like judged by the master.
Not at all. Not at all.
You know, when I left you, I was but a learner. But
Learner.
now
Now-
I'm not a
now-
master because I haven't taken your course.
That's true. We're getting there.
How do you get your course?
You go to eebstudios.com. I love all these plugs today, Rob. You're
Okay.
like, how can people work with you? How can they do this? I only use my soothing voice for medical ads.
Could
when
you
I have
could
to,
you could you do it?
I then talk to you like this about these birthing suites in Florida. Weirdly, as somebody who doesn't want children, I'm the voice of a whole bunch of birthing suites in the great state of Florida. I'll talk to you about all the things that can be offered to you, your family, and your brand new little one.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's weird.
That was amazing.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Tim Platt Tim Platt says, why are they called genre movies? Don't all movies fall under some sort of genre?
I mean, great point, Tim. They do.
Great. It's true, but I think that science fiction, look, there's the Academy of Science Fiction, Fantasy, and Horror.
Yes.
And I think when I say genre films, I mean only because it's become a shorthand with me and my friends.
Yeah.
We talk about science fiction, fantasy, and horror as a genre. There's thrillers, there's comedies. So every movie's a genre. But if you're a science fiction, fantasy, and horror fan, you use genre movies as a shorthand.
Yes.
I think.
I think so too. I agree with that.
But Tim, it's a good question. Terry McGinnis. Batman Beyond team. Thank God John isn't here to talk about that cat game. His vitriolic feline hatred and morbid cat jokes are hella depressing.
Oh wow.
That was a good cat.
You like
I've
that?
played a lot of cats. Yeah.
Oh.
That was a great cat.
There you go.
That was
See,
wonderful.
when I hear that from a voiceover coach, that means, I
Nailing
walk
it,
away
nailing
like that's
it.
a win for me.
Crushing it.
Wow.
You could go work for Sentai Filmworks right meow.
Well, you know what? I'd love to get that $800 back that I spent on their Legends of the Galactic Heroes box set. By the way, best $800 I ever spent. Thank you, Sentai Filmworks.
We love Sentai Filmworks. Great. But yeah, John would have talked about how he'd try to kill the cat if he was playing that game. Would have just been trying to murder himself the
Oh, he's
entire time.
saying, don't get that game anywhere near my PlayStation. Something
No,
like
that's
that.
why you have to make a video that you like. If you send it to me, I'll put it up on the channel and not tell anybody, and then I'll take the blame. You go in there, download the game, and play it on his PlayStation 5.
Even
And by
better.
the way, I'm going to give you a 4K disc to put in the
Slide
disc
on in
drive,
there.
Okay.
and you're going to watch like Lawrence of Arabia in 4K.
He
and
can't watch that. That's so dang long.
I'll put it in there. I'm just gonna walk out of the house though. I'm not watching that.
It's only why? It's one of the
Give
great
me an
movies ever
hour
made.
30. Give me the Ninja Turtle
Okay,
reboot.
I'll tell you
Oh,
what
there
I'll
we go.
do. I'll find
Yeah.
you a great
That's
hour and a half 4K movie that you have to put in and watch the whole thing.
I'll
How
still
about
leave.
that? But you have to make a great, like, slide the disc in, make it close up, and play "Thus Spoke Zarathustra." It's a 2001 thing. Anyway,
What's next?
Danito says Marvel loves showing their movies through TV spots.
Do they though? I know one of the editors of Marvel, and while we have seen more than we usually do with Doctor Strange and maybe with Thor as well, it's also a lot of fake outs.
Yeah, and they're from
So-
very specific scenes, and you just see Reed. They add
they
more.
kind of
to-
shuffle them through.
And you know what? These spots are mainly for, I think, just pulling in that demographic. They're just not pulling. Hopefully, one of them actually works for them.
Yeah.
Because all of us, we'll see these spots or we'll ignore them. We're all still going to watch the movie. So they're just trying to get to other people.
Exactly.
You
It worked really well for Doctor Strange. You got to remember, guys, those of us watching this show and on this show, we do exist in kind of a geek bubble. And so
Yeah.
it doesn't take as much for us to get excited about a Thor property. But if you show dad ass, maybe more people will get in the theater.
Yeah, but I keep seeing it blurred.
I know, which is disappointing.
I know.
Yeah. Got to get in there.
Gives me something to aspire to.
know? Reminds
I
me
have
of the
to work
marketing
harder.
for Your Highness.
Your
Your
Heiny.
Heininess.
Your Heiny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That worked. I bought that ticket right away. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Okay, then. Film Code Podcast sends in a super chat and says, speaking of Pride Month, what film introduced you all to LGBTQ cinema? For me, it was But I'm a Cheerleader.
Oh, great movie. That is the Pride Month movie, too, for Cinespia this year. And Cinespia always does a really cool photo booth up in the Hollywood Forever Cemetery where you can get some really cool photos done. I don't know. I don't think it's a probably true LGBTQ film, but what I always gravitate towards and what was my first kind of foray was The Birdcage.
Oh, there you go.
You know, because it didn't feature obviously all properly represented actors, but I mean Nathan Lane in that is a treasure and perfect. Oh my gosh.
Moonlight was the last.
Moonlight, great
Oh,
film.
that's a
was
great
the last
film.
one I watched.
I mean, I would say Fassbinder's Corel, but probably people are like, what?
What is that?
Or I could say like My Beautiful Laundrette, and I'll say something, people are like, you shouldn't say that, but William Friedkin's Cruising, I will say that my father used to represent Jerry Weintraub, the producer of Cruising. My father was his insurance broker, and we went and saw a movie called Cruising that stars Al Pacino, directed by William Friedkin, and I want to say it was 79. Was I 12? And it is a movie set in the rough trade, leather daddy, gay underworld of New York. A murderer is. Let me just say, as a young man, I had many questions after seeing it. But by the way, you can get it on a great Blu-ray special edition. It caused a lot of controversy. Read up on William Friedkin's Cruising.
Didn't we get something from CinemaCon 2, an Apatow movie coming up? I forgot what the name of it
Oh,
was.
Yeah,
we
we
have a
did.
movie called
Yeah.
Bros coming out. which
Bros,
looks
there you
great.
go.
It's a Billy Eichner film with an entirely LGBTQ cast. Billy Eichner's so friggin' funny.
That
too.
movie looks hilarious.
It looks hysterical. I'm so excited about that one. I love his sense of humor. I really miss Billy on the Street. I loved that. If you guys haven't watched those, they're great.
Bros looks great.
It looks so funny.
It looks so funny. It's already being attacked.
Of course it is.
Up, down, 814 sends in a super chat and says, one of two. Hey, Rob and Chris.
Hi.
I just wanted to say that I finally saw Neon's Crimes of the Future, and it's easily one of the best films of the year. It is Cronenberg at his best and most personal. One of two. Is there another one?
Yeah. Let's see.
The film is about asking the question, if you can find peace in being different than everyone else, can you find the motivation to keep living? Okay, first of all, as a lifelong Cronenberg fan and someone who went and saw that movie opening weekend, I couldn't wait to see it. I read that script over 20 years ago. And I love that you came to that conclusion. David Cronenberg has been one of my favorite filmmakers. Most people know him from The Fly, his adaptation of The Dead Zone. I love him from his early horror films, They Came From Within, or AKA Shivers, Rabid, The Brood, Videodrome. And the thing about Cronenberg is his whole oeuvre is all about the idea that we are beings of spirit and intellect that are trapped in these physical forms. That at any one moment, our intellect, our spirituality, everything we are as human beings can be destroyed when our bodies are disrupted. Whether you are Jeff Goldblum and you accidentally fuse yourself with a fly through technology, or you're Marilyn Chambers and you have plastic surgery and you end up with a weird stinger that you have to drink blood from underneath your armpit in his second film, Rabid. So, which is true. And that's one of his and Dead Ringers, which I think is his masterpiece. I mean, how do you reconcile being intellectual beings that are trapped in a body that will revolt against you?
Very interesting.
And so I really appreciate your assessment. I found Crimes of the Future, as somebody who wanted to see the movie for 25 years, I found it a little distancing.
Okay.
As a Cronenberg fan, I felt like I was watching a really smart professor talk about really smart things that I was interested in, but I didn't feel them because it was a little too academic for me.
Okay. Very, very interesting.
If that makes sense.
Yeah, it does. No, thanks for writing that in so we could talk about that. Yay. When you get to wax poetic on that stuff.
There you go. Josh Becker says, I am seeing The Black Phone and Elvis tonight. Well, there's a double feature. What do you think? Are you lonesome tonight? No, you're not. By the way, convince John to have a Stranger Things Volume 2 open spoiler discussion. It will be huge to talk about. I think that's actually manageable.
I've pitched it to John, and I got a we'll see since it's 4 hours and it drops at midnight. I would love to do that, and I'm totally game to do that. If I can watch all 10 episodes of The Umbrella Academy in a day.
I think we should do it.
I think Erin should come in because she's obsessed with Stranger Things.
Yeah, I mean, I think we should do a gangbang. Have the whole show, have the whole crew. Ideas, a gangbang of ideas. You know what I mean? That's Stranger Things. Not like, what did you think I thought I meant?
At McDonald's.
I mean, the Hero-gasms tonight. I didn't mean that. So.
Hopefully we'll do that, though. The
wow, we will. Wow, that's.
Open spoiler
are we gonna put? That'll get demonetized if we put that on. If we put that on YouTube, it's so demonetized.
Guys, I don't have any more coffee left.
In a world, I know I'm running out of my beverage. Oh, but my coffee's cold. Jay Master says, have you guys seen the new final trailer for Thor: Love and Thunder that dropped this morning? In the trailer, it shows two Celestials chilling on Mount Olympus.
We touched on that. Yeah, we were busy putting the show together.
Yeah,
so we didn't get to check it out. Rated, though. But yeah, it makes sense to have Celestials hanging out in this movie about God.
Oh, right. Okay, I've just, it takes me a second to translate human words. Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like, it looked like two Arshims or whatever, like opening up the gates to something. I don't know. And that's what the term is, not Arshim, Celestials.
Yeah, Arshim, that was...
Arshim's a dude. Celestial. He's a judge.
Yeah. Specifically. This
like
little,
yeah, that's what they look like.
This creepy guy over here.
Yeah.
Except they had gold eyes or something like that.
Yeah. But
or whatever those things are.
It does look like that, Jay, though, so thank you for pointing that out.
Absolutely. Al Renshaw says, Al, thank you for your support. You are a true blue fan. Thank you. Al Renshaw says, Dodic, DODC seems to be overstepping their authority. Am I missing this?
This is a Ms. Marvel reference. This is the Department of Damage Control.
Oh,
yeah. And you're a little behind on Ms. Marvel.
I'm behind. Yes.
Ooh, do they seem real shitty?
Oh, the big bad? What's that?
Well, the lead investigator, she is a real pill, and I do not like her.
And I finally watched the last
and you're nice to everybody, so if you don't like her...
Take off your shoes, bitch.
Were they introduced in, not Spider-Verse, my God, No Way Home?
Mm-hmm.
That's where they were introduced.
Yeah.
Department of okay.
Yeah, they're
Yes.
the, they're
Yes,
the
yes, yes.
interrogators,
That
right?
all connects to the end of episode 1.
No,
That's
no,
where
no.
we
It
know
was
Easter egg.
Far From Home
Far from home.
because No Way Home is
Yeah.
it was the second film. Michael
Far
Keaton
From
was
Home.
part of that. Vulture was part of that.
Oh, they were introduced in that one. Oh,
But you know what? I saw
The
the last episode last night, and you know what? That one brought me in a little bit more
Yeah.
into the show. I really liked. I really like the show now because I was just about to wait until all of it comes out and then watch all. But I happened to watch the last episode, and it was a pretty good episode. So I think I'm gonna watch the next one.
Yeah.
Yay. I'm so glad you're liking it. I love this show. I think it's really, really great.
I do too. I think it's kind of wonderful.
It's real charming. I like it a lot.
some kind of wonderful.
I'm excited for you to see the latest episode too, because I want to talk to you about the greater MCU ramifications.
Well, I'll tell you something. It was I went for Umbrella Academy.
That's fair.
That's
You know, I did. And tonight,
We have lots of time.
brother,
Herogasm.
Herogasm, but also For All Mankind.
Oh.
Maybe you hold For All Mankind as like a palate cleanser.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, For All Mankind to
So-
me is it's the erudite. I mean, Herogasm.
I don't know what to be.
I'm going to bring a cloth so I can wipe off my face. I think.
Wow.
I'm just thinking.
That new TV system you have is really,
It's
really
amazing.
visceral.
I love my new OLED.
It's 40X at home and it is uncomfortable.
It is Dolby Vision. It is widescreen. It is very colorful.
What else do we got?
Nicholas Clark sends in a super chat and says, "Hi, Chris. Which voice actor or actress would you say is most recognizable to you? Mine is Maurice LaMarche, good Canadian kid. I can always recognize when his voice is in a movie or a TV show."
Oh yeah, Maurice is very, very distinguishable. Probably Steve Bloom, original voice of Spike Spiegel. I can usually pick him out of a lineup. And also Ben Schwartz. I usually am like, oh, that's Ben Schwartz right there. Even in the Boys Diabolical, the episode that has no dialogue, it's all just plussing. When I say plussing, I mean those just kind of reactionary noises and things. I went, oh, I think that's Ben Schwartz. And Logan just looked at me and was like, how do you know that? It's just very, very distinct. Yeah. What else?
Glenn Hibbert says, "Rob, do you know if there are any Marvel superheroes from the South Pacific region? I don't expect to find any Kiwi heroes, but I'd like to see it. Also, I'm concerned I've done something wrong. Apparently, I'm no longer a member. I didn't cancel it." Glenn, I
What?
don't know. Are you talking about the John Campea channel? I mean, I don't know. We don't cancel anyone's members.
Yeah.
I don't know.
If you have it on like an auto pay thing, if you switch a card, maybe it automatically cancels. I'm not sure how any of that works though.
But that's
That'd be-
a good question. I mean, South Sea superheroes. Are there any Kiwi heroes?
Can you give me his full screen name real quick? I'll look into that for him just in case.
Glenn Hibbert is. I'd have to look. I mean, Glenn Hibbert is his name. Yeah, Glenn Hibbert. GLENNHIBBURT.
Okay.
Glenn Hibbert's
I'll look into it.
you know, I don't know off the top of my head if there are any South Seas heroes. It's funny because whenever that comes up, I'm like, well, you know, you could say like Jason Momoa or of course Dwayne the Rock Johnson.
There's Kiwi Black, who's a Maori, but that's a villain.
Well, yeah, but Maori is Kiwi.
Yeah.
I mean, and look, I have to tell you, one of the great movies. There was he's passed away, but Jeff Murphy was he was a second unit director on Lord of the Rings, but he was also a director in his own right, and he made a terrific science fiction film in New Zealand called The Quiet Earth. He also made a Maori film that I believe our own favorite Boba Fett is in. No, or I might be wrong about this. He was in Once Were Warriors but Utu. Jeff Murphy directed Utu, which is a movie that's set in the 18th century about a Maori warrior. It's an incredible movie. Of course, Tamora Morrison, I believe, was in Once Were Warriors that Lee Tamahori directed. As far as Kiwi cinema goes, I'm not up on my. If I'm wrong, please correct me. But yes, that's what I can give you as far as Kiwi cinema is concerned. Huge fan.
yeah. I can't think of anyone. I can think of a couple Marvel people, but that's it.
Uh,
Okay.
Yeah, I can't. Luis Enrique de la Peña sends in a super chat and says, "I have a lot of catching up. I've just seen the first episodes for Umbrella Academy. Obi-Wan and the boys. Well, Louis, there's no question there, but I would say, how did you feel about them? What do you think?
Yeah. I mean, you've got a great list of things to watch. I'd love to hear what your opinion is on Obi-Wan because it's been pretty divisive, right? A lot of people either loved it or were pretty indifferent to it. The Boys, great show. We love talking about it.
Yeah.
Umbrella Academy, I want more people to talk about it.
Me too.
Got a lot of stuff going on.
You know, Chris, I mean, as much as, you know, I get accused of, you are a gatekeeper, you hate all things. What I do love, all of these things, isn't it amazing what we're getting?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, we are getting a plethora of amazing genre, science fiction, fantasy, and horror TV shows.
Oh, yeah, it's an embarrassment of riches. It's great.
That's
It's
what
one-
I always say.
It's one of the reasons why I think people are, oh my gosh, the Umbrella Academy dropped because so much stuff is happening right now. We are being inundated with so much great, mostly quality television.
Really quality television. And you know what? You might not like Obi-Wan, but still, I mean, as far as it goes, if you asked my young self 30 years ago, do you think there's ever going to be an Obi-Wan television series? I'd be like, fuck no.
Yeah.
No way.
And it's beautiful. I mean, it's beautifully shot.
Yeah.
It's really nicely done.
you know.
So you got a lot to do. You got a lot to watch. That's exciting.
And so don't feel bad about watching
Yeah.
good stuff.
Exactly.
Morgan Holmes says, get your umbrellas out because this show is raining greatness.
Morgan, that
that should've been
$20
our
super
headline.
chat is
Damn,
wonderful. That should have
damn,
been our
Daniel.
headline. You should be writing articles for folks because that's a great title.
But Chris, you've seen it all. Is it
Yeah.
true? Is the new season of Umbrella Academy raining greatness?
It is. It really, really is. It yes, ands its own story. It does deeper dives into these characters and their relationships. You really, really understand everyone's perspective on why they're doing what they're doing. It's so gosh dang well done. I love it.
Yeah, man, promoting the show has been awesome too. Been getting some rain out here, lightning.
Yeah. I'm
Last
jealous.
night, I
didn't
mean,
get
it was
any
a
of
cloud
that.
burst. Or if you're a Kate Bush fan, cloud bursting.
Yeah. I didn't see shit in the valley. I was so sad. Dry as
It
bone.
was all yesterday morning in the valley.
Yeah.
They got it later.
Timula the Spider Monkey sends a super chat in and says, also, I don't get John thinking cats are useless. I just watched my cat kill a big bloody spider in my kitchen. I am the worst combo ever. An Australian arachnophobic. By the way,
Timbula, get out of there.
Australia has huntsman spiders. They can fly.
Oh
Why?
crap! No.
Not only are huntsman spiders as big as a hand, but they can shoot out tendrils that allows them to drift. A huntsman spider. Imagine a spider this big flying.
No, we live in the darkest
that's a
timeline, and I
bird.
hate that.
That's a bird to me all the time.
I'm just saying.
No, Batman.
Go ahead, Rob. Check it out for us.
No.
I was there. I lived in Australia for a year. I
He's
did.
seen it.
I checked it out.
Okay.
Ugh.
ER's grandpa says, "Hey, BBT, Batman Beyond team.
Yay!
Rob, thought about you. Did you? Watched Galaxy Quest, then the Never Surrender documentary, Such Memories. Oh, well, first of all, Galaxy Quest is such a wonderful movie, and the Never Surrender documentary is amazing. So for those of you who've never watched Galaxy Quest, if you're a Star Trek fan or a fan of great comedy, it's so wonderful. And that documentary it's everyone's involved. It's really great. So I understand why you loved it.
Worth
Do you,
checking out.
Chris, do you like Galaxy Quest?
I love Galaxy Quest.
So good, right?
I think it's wonderful. There was talks a while ago of them making a series too, and I really want that to come to fruition, and I really want to read for it.
You know, we did a panel once at WonderCon when it was still in San Francisco. And our panel we talked about the new Galaxy Quest TV series, or it was a retrospective panel. Of course, everyone showed up, and it was not real. We made it all up.
You made it all
We
up.
made it all up, like an incredible 2-part episode, The Fires of Uranus. And people were all like, and it took a while. For people to
evil.
understand it wasn't
So
quite.
evil.
Wow.
We had people that actually brought props.
Oh,
These are
man.
Galaxy Quest props, and we're
Yeah.
like, you realize this is all a goof.
Man.
Just saying. I mean, look, how lame am I reminiscing about a Comic-Con or a WonderCon panel I did 10 years ago with good friends of mine? Anyway.
Oh, I think it's sweet. What else we got?
Well, we got Ocasio G says, any thoughts on Tom Swift or All American on the CW? Well, Tom Swift, I mean, Tom Swift is talk about genre. I mean, that was an old pulp sci-fi character.
Yeah.
And I have not watched that show. I didn't even know they made that show, and I read it.
Introduced on Nancy Drew. Oh. Yeah.
Oh, see, I thought it was great, and then people wrote me like, Rob, what do you think about Tom Swift being black? I'm like, who cares?
Who cares?
Like, I'm like, how cool is it they made a Tom Swift
Yeah.
show? I'm like, I hadn't heard the name Tom Swift for like 40 years. Awesome. Now, have you seen it?
I haven't watched the show. He was really cool on Nancy Drew. Just this wicked smart, super fun, flashy, fashionable kid. It seems really fun.
Well,
I need to check it out.
I was like, I didn't know he came on. Why didn't I know this? I mean, I'm Mr. Pulp Sci-Fi.
Yeah.
I did not know that. And I'm like, I would have watched Nancy Drew.
I will say Nancy Drew is one of my guilty pleasures. I really like it. I love a supernatural kind of show, though. That's my jam.
But
And
I
if you
grew up
couple
with
it
those
murder-
books. I read Nancy. You know, if you got the Hardy Boys and Nancy Drew, those collections with the blue spines.
Oh, yeah. As are featured in the Birdcage.
Tom Swift. Yes, Tom Swift. If I'd known that. And then people are like complaining. I'm like, are you kidding? I'm just happy someone made a Tom Swift show.
Exactly. But people just get so wrapped up in this is so woke. No, it's not. It's a different version of a story. Get your panties out of a twist. And if you want to watch it, awesome.
love
And if you don't, don't.
But that's the thing. But you haven't watched the actual Tom Swift show.
I haven't. I just saw his introduction on Nancy Drew and really enjoyed
now
him.
I want to see both because I love the idea of pulp
Yeah.
sci-fi.
It's
Good stuff.
Awesome.
Brian Sainer. Is that insane? Like, are you saner? Brian Sainer. So I mentioned Dark was my favorite time travel series. And yes, Rob, I am so... Okay. Brian, you and I, first of all, park our shuttlecrafts in the same shuttle bay. So what Brian is asking, if you guys have not watched the Netflix series Dark, it is a little dense. It's an amazing science fiction time travel show.
And I'm supposed to watch it subtitled.
Yes, watch it subtitle. It's really, really good. Hang on, let me go back to that because I didn't finish. So I mentioned Dark was my favorite time travel series, and yes, Rob, I'm so very excited for $18.99 from the same creators. Yes, there's a new Netflix show. I don't know what it's about. The trailer looks bonkers. It looks great. And Westworld season 4 is coming. For those of you who don't know, the full length trailer for Westworld season 4 did drop last week. It looks really good.
I never got into it.
I have many problems with that show, but season 4 looks pretty great.
This could be the show that you quit and you come back to.
There you go.
All right. What else we got?
Tim Platt says, as a huge Star Wars Rebels fan, it warmed my heart to see that the creators of the Kenobi show were also and brought my favorite scenes to live action. What do you think about that?
So, Tim, I'm a little mixed on that because I had the moment of, oh my gosh, it's like that fight. Oh my gosh, it's just like that fight. And while it was really cool to see that in live action, this is just me. I'm a big animation fan. You guys know this. I already felt like I saw elements of that fight, so why would I need to see it done again? And it is one of those things, again, to me, feels like, hey, we can always just take and undermine animation because it's a lesser medium. And it's not. It obviously is a wonderful medium that helps you execute stories in a beautiful way. So it felt a little stolen from. That being said, that is still one of the best live action fights I have ever seen in Star Wars, but I felt a little about it. Yeah.
I defer to you.
Oh, thanks, Rob.
Jermaine King says, Rob, you're the king of spoilers.
He wrote this to us when we were all giggling about how you do spoilers. Oh, he's wheeling away.
I'm just kidding. Rob, you're the king of spoilers and hints, which are also spoilers. We still love you.
We do still love you.
He doubled you.
You plussed me.
You plussed him.
I'll take it. I don't want to spoil anything.
No,
You
just
don't
get
do it on
excited.
purpose. Or...
No, you just want to share stuff.
Yeah, you're just really talkative.
You know what, young kids? Darth Vader is Luke Skywalker's dad. I know.
Terrible.
The Spin says, "Hey, Batman Beyond crew,
Hi.
got to see an early screening of The Black Phone yesterday, and I absolutely loved it. Highly recommend to everyone." Ray, let's defer to you. What did you think of The Black Phone?
I'm not going to say anything I haven't seen anything like it, and it was good.
I loved it.
Yeah, I loved it too. So I'll just wait a little bit longer for people to watch, and then we could fully talk about it if someone else brings it up.
But you'd recommend people, if they like horror, see it.
Yeah, I've been recommending to people who don't even watch.
What would you tell Chris Carr about The Black Phone?
She's a tough sell. Mm-hmm. Because of I know,
she's not. She watched The Exorcist.
Oh,
The scariest movie
and it
ever.
screwed me up for the rest of my life.
Yeah, but you can watch The Black Phone, man. Come on,
I don't
man.
wanna.
all I'm saying with the Black Phone, I wish no bedrooms had corners after that movie. Because it always seems like corners in the room are the worst places to be. So I'm going to build my bedroom in a sphere, like a
In a nice
circle.
circle?
So there'll be no corners.
I'm
There'll
so
be
excited
no
to
dark
have something
corners. There'll
new
be
to be afraid of.
nothing.
Ugh.
That's my plan.
What else we got?
Jay says, "New Thor trailer looks dope. I wish I hadn't seen it, though. I like not to be spoiled, and it revealed a lot more than it needed to, I think." Well, we haven't seen it because I don't like when trailers reveal too much.
Yeah. But we'll I mean, ultimately, we really won't know until we see the movie. If it's, oh man, that was all spoiled. What else?
True. P-Dot sends in a super chat and says, "They are all best written, twisted superhero shows ever and are fortunately contemporaries. Doom Patrol, Umbrella Academy, and The Boys."
Oh, yeah.
That's a very astute assessment. Mm-hmm. And why do you think that is?
Why do we think that we have these nice contemporaries all happening?
Yeah, they all are approaching the superhero genre from a similar point of view.
I mean, I think there is a kind of disenchantment with a specific ideology that they look at.
All right.
And I think it's maybe that shared disenchantment that we're working through.
God damn, I love doing shows with you.
I did too.
I totally agree. Well done. Eli says, "In No Way Home, when Strange is talking to Wong and Peter about the spell he remembers the night, Wong couldn't. So does Strange remember Peter?" I don't think he does.
He keeps saying Spider-Man.
Yeah.
So I think the key here was Spider-Man now has his secret identity intact again because no one remembers Peter. Everyone remembers Spider-Man.
And most importantly, the Avengers don't know who Spider-Man actually is.
Yep. But know that he's a member of their team.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is very interesting.
I love that. Mm-hmm. They don't, Mrs. Stark. Timbula, the Spider Monkey, says, "I've wanted to send super chats in for a while, but the show goes live about 4 a.m. here in Sydney. And, sleep is great."
Sleep is great. I don't blame you, Timbula. We just appreciate you being up and watching this.
I know.
Thank you so
And
much.
Tim's a longtime supporter of myself, which I have to
Aw.
say thank you, Tim. And good to have you back. Good to see you, sir.
I hope none of those fucked up spiders are near you. Look.
Oh, no. He lives in Tasmania.
no.
There's terrible, horrible, awful creatures. But it makes you stronger.
Yeah.
Zelda Master 702 says, "So, Ezra Miller has a farm now?"
Yeah, that's what's really troubling, right? you know what's great to grow on a farm? A cult.
Wow. Rajneesh Puram.
Oh boy,
I
got it.
everything
didn't
keeps
think of that.
getting worse. Everything keeps getting worse, and I just want it to stop.
I mean, my whole thing about Ezra Miller having a farm is, why was he in Hawaii? Didn't he have to aren't there crops to tend to?
Do you think Ezra Miller is actually doing farm work on their own farm?
Well, if you're the Flash, imagine you could water your entire crops in
fair.
seconds.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's true.
I mean, if I was the Flash, I'd have a farm.
Yeah.
I'd live organically because my speed would allow me to do that.
That's why I always wanted plant powers, so I could just always have
Poison ivy.
food. Yeah,
But without the poison.
exactly. Yeah, I want more like the
Just
Sky
Ivy.
High Girl. Right, and then I could
Sky
eradicate
Girl.
world hunger.
Oh, wow.
Sky
Nice.
High was awesome.
That's why I love
Sky
doing
High's
the show.
great.
This is the longest show of the John Campea Show.
This
This is not our
No,
longest.
we've
So
done
good.
we've done
worse.
2 hour 40s.
So are we trying to?
Corey R says, "Hey, Chris and Rob. Hopefully John sees this or not.
Or won't. He's-
Hopefully John sees this. Your after shows together are amazing.
Thank you.
Also, please do a Chris Carr Miss Marvel after show.
Oh, that would be very fun. However, I live very far away, and so when we do the Obi-Wan show, which I guess now we could do a Ms. Marvel show, that wouldn't be as problematic. But usually we're done with that show around 4:30, and then we would have to do another show, and that doesn't just mean keeping me here. That also means keeping Jonathan here, Ray here, and
Jonathan's got like 3 kids.
yeah, and they already
Daughters,
have,
right?
Yeah, he has 3 girls and a wife and a whole ass wife that he's got to take care of and go see and go spend time with.
4 girls in his house.
Yeah, and that's
Wow.
a long day too because they start pulling stories and working on stuff. I mean, I was emailing you guys at 5, so it's just a very, very long day. We'll try to do more of these after shows, and I appreciate that you'd want me to do one, but we'll see how it works into their schedule too because it's a lot of other cooks in the kitchen to make it happen. But thank you.
Luis Enrique de la Peña sends in another super chat. Ray's favorite anime, Sailor Moon. Favorite video game, Deliver Us the Moon. And favorite pastry dessert, moon cakes. Ray, is that true?
Yes, it is. No, anything with the moon is fine.
I was gonna say Sailor Moon's not your favorite anime.
No, but I do.
That's mine.
I do like that how they're using the moon for that show. Using the name of the moon.
They're shouting out. It's a shout out.
Yeah.
I can't even comment on Sailor Moon without coming off as weird and creepy.
But you know what? He mentioned it again. This game, Deliver Us from the Moon.
Deliver Us the Moon.
Deliver Us the Moon, even better. It looks good.
No, I mean, it gets great.
It looks like
reviews.
my thing. So thank you for pointing that out. Because I was just watching the thing right now.
Gonzo sends in a super chat and says, Celestials in Thor. I can't wait.
I know.
I
It looks
mean,
exciting.
my God. They're like, where's the guy that's in the Indian Ocean?
Yeah.
Like, what's he doing?
Let's tie up some of these loose ends here with all these different deities.
It's good. What? Yes. Stephen Delint Wooters sends in a super chat and says, like you, Rob, I am not a fan of modern Star Trek. The last couple of weeks, though, I've been catching up on the Orville, and I'm totally in love with it. Probably my favorite show since Deep Space Nine. Well,
Oh,
Stephen,
high praise.
have you watched the Orville?
I have not watched the latest season of The Orville. This is my parents' one of their favorite shows.
This season's interesting because look, shout out to Seth MacFarlane. When I was producing the Next Generation box set, the special features, we actually called him up and said, would you come in and host a conversation with the writing staff? And he did. He shows up with 20 pages of handwritten notes on a yellow legal pad.
Aww.
I mean, he is such a fan. He didn't charge us or anything. He just did it because he loved Next Generation. I think the Orville this season it's what he wanted it to be. It started out as a parody of Next Generation. Now he's doing like season 8 of Next Generation, even though the guy who wrote season 8, Mike McMahon, is now doing Lower Decks. It's all very crazy. But I think what the Orville is doing, it's a beautiful show. It's really well made. And I think this season, there's 3 episodes so far. Very respectable.
I'm excited
Really
to
enjoying
binge
it.
them. Excited to catch up.
It's good. It's good stuff. Zishan.
Yeah.
Yeah. Herogasm reaction video like you did with Aaron.
Ooh.
It depends what happens.
I mean, we'll have to try to get Aaron in here quickly then.
without seeing it.
Yeah. I mean, we all could just set up our cameras too and do a reaction video spliced together. But that's
just
also
worried-
making more work for somebody else.
I'm really worried about Maeve.
I'm very worried about Maeve.
To be honest, I've been pondering the fate of a fictional character all week, which is a little weird.
Yeah.
Elizabeth's like, you look distant. You feel distant from me. What's on your mind? I'm like,
I'm thinking about Queen
I'm
Maeve.
just thinking about Maeve. Like, what's going on? I'm like,
She's okay.
and she's like, you're thinking about who? And I'm like, she's a superhero. Her disposition now is a little,
She's like, that makes it worse.
She's like, you're not thinking about even a real woman.
Why can't you be present?
Look at me, Rob. May. Look at me.
I think you all
I have
understand where I'm coming from.
I have no.
We just stepped into melodrama.
Oh my God. Mark Smith says, sending big love from the UK. Well, thank you, Mark
Mark.
Smith.
Yeah,
Very
always
much
love big
appreciated. Jason Frost says Paramount Plus launched in the UK yesterday with only the first 3 Strange New Worlds episodes and no Star Trek The Motion Picture Director's Edition. I'm gutted. Well, that's pretty much Paramount's par for the course. They've left me gutted since 2009
Oh my
when I saw
God.
Star Trek
Goodness
09.
gracious. Ugh.
It's now been 13 years of the great Star Trek hostage crisis. I'm still waiting for it to be alleviated.
And you know, Rob never goes on about it, but God, it's been hell for him.
Yeah, it's really bad.
Yeah.
You know, say what you want.
What else we got?
Jermaine King says, P.S. I was watching a video last night and the trailer for Smile. Oh, have you seen that trailer? Smile came on. I've never clicked off a vid so fast. It was creepy. Chris?
I hate it. I hate
Smile.
it so
What is
much.
Smile? Please explain. What?
There's it's like some creepy thing where when people start smiling around you, they've seen some horrible entity and you're going to die within a few days.
That
And everyone
is
has these
amazing.
creepy, awful smiles on them and they are doing self-harm and harm to others. I bundled myself up in my hoodie and I clung to Aaron for dear life.
Okay, you probably don't know this about yourself, but when you talk, you're smiling.
Yeah.
You cannot, you bring effervescent light and happiness into a room, just being you. After seeing that trailer, when you speak to me,
Yeah.
you're always smiling.
Oh,
I
do you
feel
think
fearful.
you're going to get got?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah,
Do
I'm
you
just
want-
saying-
Do you want me to just...
You
That's
can't.
a really good point,
even,
Rob.
Nope, because even that's kind of look what happens. It's a small. You're terrifying. I'm terrified right now.
Logan does think that that's the voice of death. Like that's what's going to come for him when his days are numbered is when I do the, hey, so we're not going to deal with this right now.
Look, you're still
But
smiling.
when we get home,
Oh,
we're going to have
see?
a really great
Oh my
conversation.
God, Logan, you get
Yeah.
Can't
the
even.
hell out.
Chris Carr is always smiling.
I'm terrifying. What's next?
ER's grandpa says,
The
Wait,
Umbrella
wait.
Academy.
Tua.
I think it's the Umbrella Academy.
The Umbrella Academy subplots don't distract
They don't.
either.
They do a really good job balancing everything.
It's great. The Umbrella
lovely.
is so good. By the way, I've only I should know that Tua. I don't, but I'm not.
When I read the acronyms cold, right, my brain gets all jumbled.
Yeah.
And I don't know what I'm trying to reaching for. I get it.
But Sam Fisher says your Academy discussion reminded me that there is a pundit, don't remember who thinks that Oscars should nominate 5 years later. See which movies survived the zeitgeist before giving them awards. That's a very interesting because you know what? Like there are movies that have won Oscars, like Oliver, or there's the circus one that people don't remember.
Yeah.
I think I think the zeitgeist value of something is important.
But aren't the Best Picture awards though very reflective of the year in which they are nominated in?
Yeah, but also aren't they universal? Like
Oh, that's true.
some movies, like my whole theory is that like generations, pop culture fades away every 20 years. It becomes less and less present. It's not a part of the culture it's from. Pop culture is of the now of
Yeah.
today. And you know, you look back, I mean, some best picture winners, like All About Eve, Best Picture of 1950 is one of my favorite movies of
Oh,
all
yeah.
time.
That's
It's
a
all
classic.
about the theater. It's classic, and that film is still relevant today. But some others are not.
That's fair. That's a good point. All right. What else from Sam Fisher do we got?
Sam Fisher says, "Rob, do you only wear that shirt once in a lifetime?"
Well played.
This is the first time, and maybe the last time I wear it. You may ask yourself if you're a Talking Heads fan. By the way, you should be if you're not.
Yeah, I am. I guess this must be the place.
Yeah.
This-
Am I missing something here?
It's okay. Sam Fisher says, Rob, don't hate me, but I pre-ordered a Saru Funko. He is maybe my favorite disco character, and Doug Jones is so great. Listen, people, let me, Sam, if you love Discovery and you love Saru, and by the way, Doug Jones is great.
Doug
and
Jones is
Saru
magnificent.
is a great character. Do not worry. I will never judge you. But if you love something, love it with all your heart. Do not wait for someone else to approve your love, because I love lots of things that are demonstrably terrible that I could never defend, but
Gods
I
of
know
Egypt.
why I love them. Even though I am now the fountainhead of fandom, I'm no longer the I'm no longer the gatekeeper. I'm the fountainhead which is Chris Carr made me that.
Yeah,
my favorite
I
thing.
did it.
Please send me a graphic, The Fountainhead of Fandom. Read the book first. Don't ever apologize. Doug Jones is great. And if people wonder, who is Doug Jones? If you've ever seen the movie Seven, he's the guy with he's living in the bed with his bed sores and he wakes up. He's that guy.
He's Billy in Hocus Pocus.
Yeah.
He is the creature in all Guillermo del Toro
Every
things.
movie ever.
Yeah.
Doug
He's
Jones
incredible.
is one of the great people ever, and
Oh, yeah.
buy that
He's such a
Funko
sweetie.
figure and love it. Don't ever apologize. Luis Enrique de la Pena says Umbrella Academy is about a dysfunctional X-Men team with a douche Professor Xavier.
Yeah, that's well put.
That's a pretty
That's
great.
well done.
Well done, sir.
That
You
was
were
a sick
exactly
favorite.
right.
All
I
right.
love that.
Nice.
Sam Fisher says, Sans Joker, who is everyone's favorite Batman Beyond villain?
Ooh.
That's hard to say.
I mean, I really enjoy the episode in which they bring back Freeze because it's a really compelling character study.
It's really great. I mean, I don't.
Um,
It's funny. I can't think of villains when it comes to Batman Beyond.
Well, because we obviously have the Joker stuff with the Return of the Joker, and we get into all of that.
But I don't think of villains in that show.
There's Blight. I mean, Blight's a very big one.
Blight's-
Light.
Yeah.
But I think of the relationship
Starro.
between Bruce Wayne and Terry McGinnis.
That's true.
what I love about the show.
Yeah, that's
And-
what I loved about the show too.
And ultimately, I mean, spoilers, but ultimately Amanda Waller and how things have is probably the big bad, really, of Batman
Wow,
Beyond.
you know what? I didn't even think of that, but you're right.
Yeah.
I mean, I loved Amanda Waller when I was reading John Ostrander's Suicide Squad. The first, in my mind, that was the first Suicide Squad comic I read in the '80s.
Okay.
You know who my favorite was? Terminal.
Of course, it was.
I like the little
Oh, that's
eyebrows
it.
there.
No, that was really. I actually thought that character was pretty cool.
In a world
like
where
it.
Sam Fisher says, how meta, funny, and or awesome would it be if Feige recast George Miller's Justice League cast as this Squadron Supreme or Squadron Sinister Squadron Supreme for the MCU? Okay, for those of you who don't know, the Squadron Supreme in the MCU is basically the DC Justice League. And George Miller was going to make a Justice League movie called Justice League Mortal. Look it up online. It was already cast. They'd made costumes. That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think it'll happen, but that's a great idea as a thought experiment.
Yeah. Hey, Spiffy. All right. What else we got?
Like it. Sam Fisher says, I heard a really great theory about Aristocrats O'Malley's name is so long because there are names he gets called by people and he just adds them to his name.
Abraham Delancey, Giuseppe Casey, Thomas O'Malley, O'Malley the Alley Cat.
Boom.
That's why
You come into my house and you talk about the Aristocats?
I do this show with you because she is way smarter than me and knows stuff I don't know.
The two of us have so much useless knowledge that we have made so important and profitable for ourselves.
Wow, man. Let me just say, I you know what? I am such a fan of yours.
Likewise.
I would build a pyramid if I could
Aww.
to the
but
memory
you
of
can't.
Chris Carr when she's no longer here. 4,000
You're
years
gonna
later.
outlive me?
No, I won't, but the pyramid.
Okay.
No, I'll be gone way before you're
Sounds
gone.
like I'm gonna die.
No. Other than what happens on the 57. Who knows?
Something we don't.
Anyway,
Yeah, that's a good theory about his names, though.
I love that you knew all that. God damn. Impressive. Timbula the spider monkey says, seen the Burnham 1/6 scale figure. How does a plastic figure have more personality than the character has? Now, Tim, that's the Exo 6. Exo 6, there's a company called Exo 6 that is exclusively now making high-end Star Trek action figures. This has never happened before. They are doing 3 Discovery figures. They're doing Burnham, that's gone off for pre-order. They're doing Saru, and they're doing Empress Georgiou. I will be only buying one of those. Imagine which one it is. But I mean, they're doing a great job. Their tailoring on their costumes is terrific. The last thing they released was Mirror Spock from the 2nd season episode Mirror Mirror, and Q comes out next. They're releasing Tuvok 7 of 9. just went up for pre-order. They are crushing it. I will only be buying Empress Georgiou from Discovery. There you go.
Sure.
Nice.
Only? Sure.
Yeah, well, Cincinnati's 5-star barber, our favorite, all the way from the Bengals territory,
Yep.
says, you guys are making me feel like we were all together in person right now discussing our favorite movies and shows and baking cookies. Laugh out loud. Love it. Ray, I finished Turtles last night. I love you guys.
Oh, Cincinnati, we love you.
Yes, man. That's the main dude right there.
How was the Turtles game, Ray?
I'm milking it right now because I know we only have 6 levels left, and I will get extremely sad when that game is done because it's fun. We have 6 levels left. I know Irene has gotten on and played, and her husband Brad. I know Mr. 47 has played with us too. I'm writing this out. Maybe one level a month to make this game last. The level takes like 5 minutes to complete. So
Well, it's good. I mean, as long as you're getting the joy from it.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly.
Fredo! Valco's Fredo! Game day!
Game day?
So,
I don't know why
so excited and scared, as we all are, for the boys episode today. I mean, I think I'm going to wear a face shield.
That's very fair.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have a lot of this going on because also that last episode had eye violence that I could not handle. I'm very terrified for what's to come as enhanced and otherwise.
What's to come?
Yeah. I had to
you
pause.
might need an umbrella for this academy. I don't know. That
Yeah,
didn't work.
we're all gonna be wearing.
No, it
ponchos.
worked. It worked. Fredo, I too am wondering how they're going to handle it. Is it called Herogasm? What's the name? I haven't
I'm
looked.
pretty sure it's just titled Herogasm.
Is it really?
And the Twitter posts they've been sharing have been ridiculous.
Oh.
There's Kripke literally holding his face about something that happens in the episode. We see our Quaid fella in a silk robe near some BDSM equipment. It looks like it's gonna be a lot.
Here's the thing. I think Starlight's a virgin. I mean, she's
really
not.
been having sex.
I know. But I still think about it having it like, very, very vanilla.
They're just spooning.
No, they're having sex, but I don't want her to be involved in any kind of shenanigans like
That's
that.
very true.
I don't.
I don't want her or Huey.
No, I know. I don't.
I got to say one thing.
Yeah.
I have this black light at home that I use so I can see the glow on some of the glow in the dark figures I have.
Where are
I'm
you
bringing
going
that
with
in
this, bro?
tomorrow, and I'm giving you guys a check at the door. Make sure you guys are okay after this episode, because I don't want to shake hands without knowing everything is fine.
It is just on screen, right? It doesn't like it. It's not going
How
to
do
like.
you usually watch television?
pass-
Well,
screen.
you never know with Dolby Vision. There's
you're
things
always-
that I'm telling you.
Shout out to
that-
Dolby.
I mean, I'm just saying that there's a reason they call it HDR,
And 4DX.
high dynamic range.
4DX. The boy.
I mean, my range is about 3 feet.
From the TV, that's too close to the TV. I know that's what we're talking about. Let's move on.
You know what? I'm just gonna leave it there. Leave it there.
What does Mista do? Didn't Mista do something?
Cincinnati's 5-star barber says.
Oh,
Oh, wait, I already read that.
We're at Mr. 47.
Why not read it again? Fredo, I already read that too. I guess Mr. 47 sends in a super chat. Is this the end?
This is the end.
This is the end.
This is the
Well,
end. my
Mr.
friends.
47, I like to see you take us out because perhaps Chris.
I'm
I'm gonna throw it over to you.
Thank you so much, Rob.
you
Well,
know.
on that lovely note, thank you, Mr. 47. Thank you, everyone who has stayed with us today with the Batman Beyond team, helping support this channel, giving us things to talk about, engaging with us as a community. We super, super appreciate you, and we could not do this show without you. I want to thank everybody in the room. Rob, where can people find you?
Do they want to? You can find me on Twitter at BurnettRM. Find me on Instagram at RMBurnett or my own YouTube channel, Postgeek Singularity, or the website postgeeksingularity.com.
Ray, where can people find you? He's already gone.
That's Ray Aura
With zero.
zeros.
Yep.
Yeah.
And Jonathan, where can people find you?
Typically here for every show
Yep.
we ever do. Rethinking my life choices.
Right or wrong.
I will be bleaching my mind's eye and brain from this show and what we've talked about. You can find me at actor Chris Carr. Thanks so much for being here, guys. And until next time, bye.